Welcome back, to a campaign that has gone on more hiatuses than any other I've had before. We return back to Sunday, the still yet to be named party group. Almost soon to be disbanded, as we've found out, unfortunately. This is not our last session. We will just be expecting to see some new faces in the next coming days for those who enjoy our content. With the unfortunate loss of two players coming up, we have two new faces we're going to be recruiting. So if you're watching this and you're interested in joining, feel free to leave a character concept down below for a 3.5 character that you'd want to play. Otherwise, though I know very few people actually watch this, so I'm not expecting any actual comments, but you never know, we might get lucky, right? You know, that's how we ended up meeting Mike, and that's how I met Fuka and a few others, so sometimes it happens. But we thank you all for watching and coming and joining us once again as we return for Sunday session. Last time we left off, the party had decided to pretty much fluff around in town for the most part. Having decided to go to the library a day later after having managed to, after have managed to go ahead and remember that they had promised that poor young lady that they would arrive, though having stood her up the night before, they instead found a slightly more angry, librarian who had taken temporary control of the place. They had been hired on as basically a hand around the place to work with. Though the party would do some research on the Zill, learning a bit about them, it wouldn't take long upon the realization of how their paralysis and grappling worked that the party would realize that being large and grappling creatures that were medium or smaller would make very difficult combat for them, especially given that they were not very well built for speed or range at the time. Party decided to forego the flower quest, and instead, in exchange, go and see if the mercenaries would hire them on. Thankfully, and luckily enough, with the city kind of having been almost abandoned completely in the night before, it seemed that the mercenaries were looking for a few extra hands, or rather, with the help of their newfound friend Rend. Is it Rend or was it Ren? Just to confirm.
It was Rend.
Rend, yeah. The mage who had decided to hire on the group as not a main asset to the mercenary company, but as a independent contractor that would just be allowed to follow plans and gain their own renown and value if they could make it. Or if they failed and found themselves at the end of a pike, Neff and his mercenaries would not be at all held responsible. Thus, the party was left to think or swim? Wow. Sink or swim. As they go forward. We come back to the party having spent most of the day going throughout the town, coming back, joining this mercenary group, and following them on the march. Kind of at the back of the mercenary company, you lot had a bit of an issue. The travel throughout the week had been kind of rather rough. The heavy smoke from a fire set at the front of the mercenary company by a few scouting units that had supposedly found an advanced force did cause a bit of a detriment. The thick smoke causing most of the mercenary company to be quite slow going through the forest as they worked to put out and kind of recover the roads that they had been following down. You, as your group, find yourselves in the back of the mercenary company with the supply train, but still ahead of the main army that would follow up after the vanguard. The other two mercenary companies, or four mercenary companies that had joined with Neff, seem to have kind of marched ahead at this point, as setting up their camp as they surround the large city that you lot have finally arrived to. As you find yourselves kind of set up in a camp with Neff and his mercenary company, you see a group of monsters head in. A few moments later, seemingly heading out with what you've been told was the second in command of the main mercenary company in charge of the entire vanguard. You lot had been summoned to go and and speak with the leader and kind of get your mission for tonight's siege. However, With Kesna nowhere to be seen amongst you, the three of you are left kind of standing to figure out whether all three of you will go in or to this large tent where you can hear the slight arguing, aggressive slamming, and the occasional yelling coming from within the tent, or if you will want to send a representative to go within. This is the point when you all unmute.
Does it sound like it's aggressive yelling or like pleasure yelling?
Very aggressive. Most of it seems to be a mix of giant, common, and primitive, as they seem to go in and out.
Well, to be fair, as in nature, I've learned that it can be very aggressive sometimes.
God damn it, Ned.
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Domnant there canonically, like, there with the group, or is he off somewhere else and is going to join the group? Because I didn't know for RP what was canon currently.
During your when you had left the day or about a week and a day before from the party, having gone off to go throughout the town, kind of finding yourself throughout the back alleys, you would find yourself kind of working a couple of odd jobs that would find yourself eventually outside the city, where you came across that goblin and dead adventurer, kind of sitting underneath a dead tree in the middle of an open field. It almost seemed unnatural when you had found this. However, that evening, as the night had gone on, you had found yourself back with the party, rejoining them to kind of find out the marching orders and find out that your group had already accepted a contract to head out, with Uldren having paid or handed you your cut of the gold that you had been given.
Cool. Okay, so I am there.
Yep.
Can I do... I don't know what kind of check it would be. Just a general... I want to do a general vibe check on what's going on here.
Yeah. Give me a...
What do you think that would be?
Give me a sense motive.
Well, Dom vibe checks. Ned is just going to walk straight in.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right.
Oh, shoot, my thing rolled out. Okay. Let's see. My vibe check's gonna be a 21.
21. And Uldren, while this is going, as you see Ned walk in, Dom kind of eyeing up the and listening to the conversation. What are you doing?
I am going to, because I would like to know the details of the mission, specifically what's going to go down. I will also go into the tent.
Okay.
Though I will keep a respective distance from everyone else.
Okay. As Dom, as you kind of try to feel the outside, emotions coming from the inside the tent, it sounds aggressive. Most of it sounds like an argument. It doesn't take you very long to realize that mercenaries don't like being under other mercenaries. As well as with the last week's journey, Neff and his mercenary order was continuously harassed and annoyed by the other 4 mercenary organizations, who, while under Neff's command, do not seem at all willing to work with him except for the very bare minimum. Which has caused Neff not only a continuous headache, but given the last couple of days, many rumors have been abound that Neff's not been sleeping at all due to another group that had joined up with his mercenary group organization. So, but as you kind of listen into this, it sounds like everything is mostly just them all yelling at each other like they've been doing for the last couple days, for the most part.
So nothing like out of the ordinary that seems especially of concern. Just a bunch of people being angry and bickering.
Everyone wanting the credit and everyone wanting to steal the credit from the others. Yep. As you see Ned and Uldren head in, are you following after them? Dom?
Oh, yeah, I would go in after. Dom Nunder kind of gets the vibe. Notices they're all just arguing and being like, adrenaline-filled, angry fighters. Probably reflects on some degree to Utham's own guards and will just, quietly follow after the others after, a brief eye roll.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of follow after Ned being the first in, with Olgin right no a few feet or a few inches behind, kind of stepping off to the side. As you come in, Dom, you see as Neff kind of looks up at from the table, a large minotaur and heavy plate, kind of arguing and moving a bunch of pieces around, shouting about something in common about how his mercenary company will be the one who ends up taking the gate. Another one of the larger looking dragonkin with golden scales seems to look at the Minotaur and reply in common, "Of course you will. That's not the argument being made. No one's caring about what you're doing," as they continue to start bickering back and forth. The other two seem to just kind of eye the conversation and occasionally make jabs and jokes about the other two mercenary companies at their peril. Neff kind of, as this is going on, looks up and looks, seeing you lot walking in, kind of steps away from the table, leaving the four of them to argue over the current honors of who's going to defeat or blow a hole through the front gate. Said front gate that Neff has clearly written on there is blocked and has boulders on it in it currently.
I imagine Neff just under his breath as he walks away. Finally, a distraction.
I point at the figures on the map. Are y'all playing that Humans and Hobgoblins game? I've heard a lot of good things about that.
Oh, he's gonna get stabbed. Get him out here.
You see the table kind of just completely ignores Ned as they continue arguing.
Come on. We'll talk outside, big guy.
Okay.
As this giant tiger lycanthrope comes up to kind of, well, I say giant. Ned is a lot taller. I will say you two, Ned and Dom, you do have to kind of lean down a bit just to be inside this tent. As from what you were able to tell amongst the mercenary organizations, about your group is 4 of 12 of the entirety of the giant population currently in the this group. But as Neff leads you outside, the heavy clouds over the sky, the light rain coming down, and the occasional cold gust of wind kind of blowing through, you lot are brought outside into the muddy campgrounds of the mercenary companies. As Neff kind of turns to talk to you lot.
Okay. I'm guessing by your height, you're the last of the group that signed on. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi just cut off briefly.
I mean, all that
What
happens
did
with
Neff say?
We're outside with Neff.
Yeah, what did he say? Though there's a question.
I just asked if you were the new group that signed on the last minute.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Don Under would nod.
All right, that's easy enough. First, large green man. That wasn't a game inside. That's a battle map. It's where you show where everyone's going to attack the city from.
Huh. I guess in this setting that would make a lot more sense.
Anyway, not important. You 3? I thought there were 4. Whatever. Doesn't
As
matter.
you look around, you do suddenly see a fourth figure kind of standing behind the 3 of them. A what looks to be about 8 feet tall Goliath with heavy chainmail, completely covering every inch of their body.
Oh, 4. Okay. You 4 will be joining the main force and attacking the barracks. Basic mission, you'll probably find the greatest resistance, not for strength, but for numbers. Destroy the barracks, loot it, whatever, doesn't really matter. As long as either the barracks destroyed or everyone there that is willing to fight is dead. So, how do you all feel about climbing ropes? Everyone decent?
I got this, and I
let me
hold up
check
the
my-
potion to fly.
I mean, that works.
My use rope
the,
is a solid.
The last guy we
+2.
met, he recommended we all share it.
Yes, because while the time will be split between you, you don't need much time on that to get over the wall. Yeah, you'll be following those two, as I think I point at someone that they wouldn't have noticed with how short they are comparatively, because I think the tall one's like 3'4" of the two.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Well, I will say, Uldren is the shortest amongst the lot at, what, 8 feet?
No, I am. What is it? 7'1".
7 foot.
I mean, I'm pointing at these two. These two little
Yeah,
guys.
that's 3 foot is 3 foot is like 13 feet shorter than me still. Almost 14.
Ned could definitely notice because of the assumed smell, unless they don't have one. But it's a skunk, so I imagine there's
A slight aroma on the air.
An odor.
Musk, if you will.
Simple enough. You'll be following those two in the main force in. Once you actually get to the location, you'll all split up and do as you must. Is that simple enough?
Oh my gosh. They look so cool.
Yes.
The large
we're gonna have to
Goliath.
take some small steps.
The large Goliath in chainmail nods, as the chain kind of makes a clicking sound behind you, all three of you.
All right.
What'd you say,
and Neff will
Ned?
step into the tent, 'cause that's really all there is to it.
There're gonna be some small steps.
God damn it.
Question, because I wasn't here.
Yes.
Was the party stated? I know we got a sign-on bonus. Was the party stated what the reward would be for finishing the quest, or is it a grab whatever loot you can get and that's your payment? type
Rend
quest?
told you that you get, depending on what level of a creature or per individual you kill, you will get rewarded. So the higher ranking the military official you kill, the more money.
If we think
So
they're
this is a
important, we
murder,
need to keep their head.
Yep, basically. Keep
Yep.
their head or some sort of proof. And then as far as looting the city goes, the ruling was told by Rend, and what he explained to you lot is, no, you can't hurt the civilians, but you were welcome to take anything from the targets you're attacking.
Yeah, because the base pay rate is the sign-on that you got handed.
So if you're raiding, say, an armory, you are welcome to take everything within that armory. But if you see a house across from it, unless that house is a target, you're supposed to leave it alone.
Okay, so civilians are left alone, but anything military or
You can
If
keep
they
and
come
take.
Yep.
If they are swinging you or they have a weapon or anything like that, you're welcome to be said.
If a child from a building throws a rock at us, we may go into that building, burn it down, kill the child. Okay. No.
This is why DMI decided to not have them actually signed on for Neffs.
As Neff turns and heads into the back into the tent, the loud yelling continues as Neff seems to start yelling over them to shut them up. It kind of goes quiet as the eerie silence and the light rain seems to cover up as they start to talk amongst themselves inside the tent. You three are left here with a single individual still standing there, waiting to see what you do.
Well,
Who's the friend?
Titus.
And I just point at the Goliath.
They look at all three of you individually, though it's hard to tell as the head turns, though their face and their entire head is covered in heavy, thick chainmail. There's not a single bit of flesh that you can see on the body. The individual shakes their hand as they put it up, as the metal kind of shakes and smacks against itself, clinging. And they go, "Do you speak Infernal?" As they say in common.
No.
Then I don't think you can pronounce my name, so just call me Sta. Yeah, it's a lot like, and he just yells stop as loud and as painfully as he can at the top of his lungs around the entire camp hears this, and then quiets down.
So can you say how you would spell that name? Is it just actually stop?
Stop.
No, okay.
However, by the time he's done screaming, it comes out like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Incredible.
As they just kind of wave at you.
Tonunder's just like a bit off put by the yelling, but doesn't react really to the screaming. Just waits until the Goliath is finished, and I guess will introduce himself. Domnander Katalis.
Oh,
And
I know.
and I scream at the top of my lungs, Ned!
He nods and goes, yes. And then he looks over at Uldren and goes, and you are Uldren?
Yes.
And where's the short, effeminate one?
Not sure.
How do you know our names? Domnander's eyes will narrow just a bit.
I heard you say them.
I mean, he has been following us for like 5 to 10 minutes now.
He nods.
I don't know if Domnander said his name to Nat. Who are you? No. Can I wait? I have the. This is my moment. This is a Domnander moment. Where's the check? I need to sense motive this guy.
All right, let's see what you got. What are you trying to pick up?
I don't know. He's standing here. He's watching us. He's clearly paying attention to who we are and what our names are. He doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed, but, you know, looks can be deceiving, and he has armor. So Domnander's trying to determine, is he just a watchful, like, bodyguard type? Like, is he meant to protect Neff or to keep us out of trouble? Or is there, like, a... Like, why is he sticking around us? Like, what's his deal? If he has been following us for, like, the past 10 minutes. Is he, like, a fanboy of Kez and is hoping to see him? Or, like, what's the deal?
Alright, yeah, go ahead and give me a sense motive.
Well, I think the armor is gonna fuck me up. That's a 7. I got a bad roll.
Without being able to see his face, it's too hard to interpret from his body language alone, as the body seems to move almost unnaturally and creakily, as it kind of jolts more than it naturally moves. From what you can tell, this individual seems to not show any markings or any individualistic characteristics similar to Neff's mini lycanthrope, or rather all lycanthrope mercenary company. Also, he's not a Rakshasa, which is kind of a big issue, as Neff only seems to have Rakshasa, though they may look as if, like in their other hybrid forms as other creatures. Their base forms, they are Rakshasa. So as
he's an odd one out.
He's definitely not one of the hirees, as the other 4 mercenary companies are made up of kobolds, minotaurs, and a mix of what look to be elves and some giants.
His eyes narrow further. But he's not saying anything. He's just like watching.
All right. Well, we have a few hours before the attack. Good luck. And he just turns, like almost completely spinning on his left heel, and starts marching away like a toy soldier. His arms kind of going in front of him, his feet not bending as he walks away.
This is a weird question. It might be part of the sense motive, but as he walks away, I know he's covered in heavy chainmail, and I don't know what he has on the outside of him.
Just heavy chainmail.
Is he carrying a strange-looking bucket at all?
No.
I'll make a whatever. Okay.
I can tell you outright, he is wearing there's nothing on him other than heavy chainmail from top to bottom. He doesn't have a weapon. There's no sign of any items on him. Though that is a good question. Good question.
Catching up to what my reigning theory is, but
it's not Jakix from what you can tell.
That's what a DM would say, wouldn't they?
Well, I can confirm that Jakix is currently in Seji's retreat with Saturday's party, so that'd be kind of an impressive feat to suddenly pop over here.
Yeah, he just.
He's apparently infernal, so it's just a little weird. The guy was like, "You speak infernal?" I am suspicious.
I will say, there's an entire nation of fiends.
It's a full nation, yeah.
How dare.
No, it's only the one NPC. You can only ever have one NPC from a given area.
Alright, so Dom is racist. Got it.
I mean, I do have a thing against beholders, so.
It's true.
That's
but
Utham's fault, though.
as the three of you kind of watch this individual walk away in this unnatural way, the rain starts to kind of pick up a little bit. It's still kind of causing the campground itself to get even muddier. The slight complaints and grumbles of the mercenaries passing around as they set up their camp seems to be kind of starting to grow as you lot are left standing there. In the distance, the city kind of seems to be almost expanded to an unnatural size. It's almost impressive with how large the city is up this close or this close.
My mossy skin looks glorious right now.
It does.
It's vibrant green. It's incredible.
So I want
is
to
there-
ask.
Yes. Go ahead, Eldrin.
I'll ask my party this. I'm gonna pull out the Emunet. If you remember that item, DM, it was the Rogium dagger that was turned into a Kamas.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this a while back. Have not used it due to what it can do. I wanted to ask y'all before the fight. Should I leave ahead of y'all and hit as many people as I can with this? This will turn them into that berserk state that the goblins were going into. We could probably have them take out each other, but in turn make the fight a little bit more difficult for us, but with less numbers.
Give me one quick second, because I think... Don't I still have some of the mushrooms that can cure it, or did I use all that, or did Kez have that? Because I could have sworn Domnander had...
I think you
that.
had at most like one of each left.
I'm trying. I don't see it in my inventory, but I know I don't really keep track of stuff on
Kez may
Wildland.
have had the last one. You might have none.
Yeah, I think we might have used it. I think Domnander's gonna kind of look at Aldrin, and look at the Kamas and go, I don't think it's an awful strategy to disrupt enemies in this way, but I think the chances for it to backfire on us with no cure is a gamble. If
Yes.
you could guarantee they won't come after us, or if we are backed into a corner, perhaps, but perhaps
I mean,
not too hasty to use it. I don't
from
want
what,
us to get in trouble for causing issues that get other mercenaries killed. I'm not sure what the rules are here.
so I do know from past experience that they go into a berserk state and will attack anyone and anything near them. So that is the only downside, but I do know that if it goes on long enough, they eventually just die, as that was a big concern Utham had for when one of his members got infected with it.
I kind of feel like that might be a little over the line on the don't hurt innocent people thing. We can't control them once they're like that. It's not us, but I don't know if Neff will see it that way.
It was just an idea.
I don't think it should be completely dismissed, but I agree with Ned. My concerns, not so much the combat as to what Neff would have his men do if we make ourselves seen as enemies. I do have, however, another option, and Domnander will go into his items and pull out, I don't know that I was given an exact description, but just a strange vial that he's very careful in handling, has wrapped, like is protected, but you could see it's like a glass vial of some sort. When I mentored with Ilpip, he gave me the mask and this as a token. I don't know what this fully does, but I know it's airborne and it's dangerous. And I think in a swarm of enemies, this will do us good. You would all simply need to stay out of the way, so I don't hurt you. Yeah, I was just, and then I was just gonna say, Chester, Domnander, also pulls out another vial that he's kept secured but less contained. I also have a poison that won't kill but will knock people out. I'm not sure how well it is applied topically, but if I can force it down someone's throat, it could help. Also, if we think any of our, and Don Underwood kind of lower his voice as he says this, if we think any of these mercenaries might double cross us, it is good applied to food and drink. And we'll pocket both things.
As you all are kind of having this conversation, I assume you'd be heading back to your tent to get a bit more privacy to talk, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you head back to your tent, you do see that there has been a map delivered by one of Neff's men, and has been set out of the area of the barracks or the barracks that you'll be attacking. This was the last noted map of the barracks itself, the key target for you lot. Well, you take a minute to start looking it over and kind of looking through your equipment. The DM's going to shut up for a moment and let you lot kind of figure out some things while he steps away to grab something.
Oh boy. I don't know if I can read all the text, but I'm looking. So we're looking for the barracks.
This entire thing is the
This
barracks,
whole
I
thing is
believe.
the
Oh, this is okay.
It's
Cool.
all the barracks. This is one big building.
Noted. Okay.
That's just all the steps.
Did Neff say a specific direction we're supposed to go, or is it
Like through the building?
Yeah, like was there a
No.
specific entry point or exit
Your
point?
specific instructions were once you get there, just split off and do what you have to do, is what Neff said.
Okay. Burn it all down or kill all guards and fighters. Yep.
Burn, kill, loot, whatever, as long as you're not hitting civilians.
By any means, yeah, it's the goal to destroy this barracks.
I'm trying to see if there's a especially flammable room around here.
From what the map shows, as you look through it, there's multiple places where food could be and alcohol could be stored. There are plenty of showings where an armory that could theoretically, if there were blasting diamonds or something similar, kept there naively, they could easily be blown up. Otherwise, the map doesn't seem to give you enough information outright that would state where they would keep something similar.
I think because I wasn't here last session, is the city and its guard aware this force is attacking, or is this a stealth-based mission? Like, are we getting the drop on them like in the middle of the night, and they're not going to know until we're climbing the walls?
Roll gather information.
Yeah, cool. Because that will affect how Dumbledore tries to strategize for this. Where is my gather information bonus? Only a 7. Didn't roll good.
With a 7, I mean, you can see, it's dark out, so the army is mostly covered in the darkness because of the heavy clouds and the rain. There's not much sunlight poking through, so you've been going through pretty much darkness for the last week of just dark and dreary weather. The camp has been set up with no fires, and you're about a day's march proper from the city walls themselves. And before the attack, from what you can tell, the city guards don't seem to have noticed, as you can see torches still kind of every once in a while going back and forth on the walls. The city doesn't seem to be at all aware that there's an army incoming.
I think Domnander, knowing this, would gesture towards the armory and potentially also like the guard rooms and all that stuff, and go, assuming our section can remain under the radar long enough, I think heading straight for the armory to prevent them from getting weapons and taking them for our own men would be smart. If they're alerted to our presence, I think the best bet is to stick to the corners and try to avoid the brunt of the fighting for us and get into the rooms we can, take out who we can. I think I do well close to people fighting, but I don't feel particularly that our strength, and he nods to like the three of them, is being on the front lines. I think we should branch off and try to be smart about this, and we'll see what the others say.
Well, personally, I don't like frontline attacks, as you've seen multiple times of me going down due to it. I prefer hit and run tactics. If we can manage the stealth, we could think about trying to take them down one by one slowly. Whether that's starting in the guard room or putting the knockout poison in the food and then dealing with them once they've passed out.
That would also be smart, depending on how ahead our specific squadron will be. Poisoning their food would be smart. If not, again, I could try to see how well it would work applied to cuts or forcibly drink, but I don't think it'll be as effective as... I think if we do get the focal point, the best option is to alert a lot of guards to our location, bring them into a confined space. Down Under points to one of the like many hallways, the corners, like the places where like they're kind of forced into one direction. And I could see what the airborne substance will do. And I think as long as our men stay away and we can warn them, it would at the very least block a pathway that would keep the guards at bay for us. It is something I would like to use to our advantage in terms of helping us retreat or prevent from being enclosed on all sides.
As you kind of start to lay this out and looking at this and going over this, you hear as there's a bit of noise, cause some the sounds of heavy footprints or feet kind of stomping over towards your tent are easily picked up. The tent flap is kind of pulled aside, and you see this black furred, very smooth, with the fur almost perfectly clean and smooth, panther-like Rakshasa with these green eyes, leather armor kind of completely covering them up to top to bottom, and then behind them the large. Sen, why don't you describe what you look like to the party who hasn't seen you in a while?
Well, I don't think Sunday's ever gotten a description of Sen.
I don't believe so.
But Sen is a 10-foot tall, splotches of red and pink skinned troll with a very large bow on his back and wearing chain armor.
As the Rakshasa kind of opens the door, or the tent flap, and goes, excuse me, are you lot, I don't have a name here. It just says Kesnanok and the Femboys.
Down Under just looks at the group of very clearly not feminine men and just
I don't know.
chuckles
Aldrin's
a
a little
bit.
bit.
No, I am regal. There's a difference.
No, difference, but it's still a little bit.
But the only feminine one here is Kez.
She looks at you and goes, listen, I don't make the rules. I was just told by the commander to give you these. As they sit down 3 cure moderate wounds health potions.
Ooh.
On the table and
Okay.
go. Also, you're taking the big boy here with you. Commander's orders, I'll be honest, I think you'll be fine. If you're interested, I actually have some, oil that would really work for going in there and making a big distraction. As you see the smile on this Rakshasa's face kind of glow up even more.
What sort of oil?
It'll keep you healthy. It'll make sure that if you happen to be flying, you won't crash land and die. Stuff like that.
Is there any side effects?
None that'll need to be worried about. You'll be a little oily and shiny. Go ahead.
I don't trust this for a
My
second.
first thought with oil is flammable.
Yeah, I assume
But-
the goal is to get you to take it and light you on fire.
But see,
where
here's the
did
thing,
that
though.
dice go?
I don't have to worry about that.
I just lost. Okay. I'm
You guys
going
are
to,
fire
I guess,
immune.
roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Are
that.
we immune
I don't have
or
to
are we
worry.
resistant?
You're fire
I'm
giant,
immune.
at least partially. You're all immune.
I can't find where that dice went. Oh boy, I think I just lost the dice. I guess I'll roll a second
Gone
one.
forever.
I hope not. Natural 20, plus, I believe my sense motive is a hefty 5. Yes, so 25.
All right. And to clarify, what are you trying to get out of the sense motive? Remember, the broader
well,
of a
basically they're
description you're
offering-
giving to me, the broader the description you're asking for, the broader of an answer you're going to get. So even with a high roll, so keep that in mind.
No, yeah, I'm aware. I'd say they just offered us an oil to use. They have a bit of like, I think you described them having a grin on their face. They were like, no side effects you need to worry about. So Don Under's immediately suspicious, is trying to determine, does this seem like a prank? Does this seem like something that's volatile, like is not tested, will not work, or is this something that seems outright dangerous and this person's attempting to harm us?
All right. That's okay. As you kind of try to focus if this person's means you any harm, you kind of the look on their face, the way their body language is, the excitement you get from this is not the harm; it's the excitement that someone's willing to actually take this item. You get more of a sense that this is an item that's been turned down already before. That the excitement is more honest. It's not a harmful or like I'm duping you lot for this kind of excitement.
You mentioned a distraction. What kind of distraction would this offer if it simply keeps us better safe?
You'll shine like the moonlight, and when the light of the storm, the eye of the storm comes right on through, you'll suddenly sparkle all throughout, and all the enemies will be drawn towards your location. When the eye of the storm passes, you just run the fuck away. It's like a beacon trap, if you will. In a dark, depressing city. And the even better news is that the rain won't wash it off. You have to intentionally cast magic, create water to get it off. Or
I immediately get an idea, and I don't know if I want to go through with it.
it wears off after an hour if you're interested. And she kind of just smiles. Good, Aldrin.
What if we... So, if the main concern is that the comet is going to cause the target to go after innocent civilians, what if we lather the person up or pour the oil on them beforehand?
Sen, don't recommend.
I don't think we would want to apply the oil to the person who's enraged. They would, after all, still attack anyone. What you would have to do is find a willing or unwilling person to give the oil that would then attract all of the angered people to them. And I will be honest with you, given I wanted to be more quiet and discreet on this mission, I have no desire to take the oil. Though I do think it is useful, I think it defeats our hit and run strategy.
Sen make sure you know, not stealth mission. Not really. We sneak into a city, then do very loud assault.
Sen, was it pleasure to meet you? I understand it's a siege. I don't expect this to be quiet. I'm suggesting we, in the midst of the chaos, break off an attempt to be more discreet with our actions and let whatever main fighting happens out in the open or at the entrance to draw most of the guards there. After all, the goal is to destroy the barracks, and we can't exactly get around to destroying if everyone's busy fighting and killing out front.
The black-haired Rakshasa looks at Sen and just kind of smiles. Oh, good. No.
Oh, I was gonna say. I mean, part of the mission kind of is killing, because we get more money if we kill important people.
Which is why I think we seek out important people rather than busy ourselves with common soldiers in the front lines.
Ultimus or the black-haired Rakshasa kind of looks at you and goes and smiles and goes, well, if it's that goal, Sen, Sen here. Why don't you? And she kind of hands the oil vial of a very explosive oil to you, Sen, to hold for a second. She goes to reach into her pack.
Okay.
She kind of starts digging around, and then she pulls out this what looks to be red like mist material in a bottle, though as she sets it on the table, it settles down and turns into a more of a solid liquid. She smiles and goes, just don't uncork this flask, and in theory you'll do what you're looking for, though it's gonna cost you a little bit. So let's say anything you get in the siege, you owe me 2,000 gold pieces of goods for whatever you get. But it'll do what you're hoping. It'll give you exactly the chance of what you're hoping to do. Keep it quiet and make sure you don't have to get yourselves smacked around in full frontal assault. But if you're not the type who would look for the stealthier option, if you're looking to go in loud, I mean, she kind of gestures to Sen's hands with the explosive oil that Sen immediately recognizes as such.
Sen also likes having this, because Sen likes to light fire arrows and shoot them.
So, what did she say? The mist works as long as it's not opened?
No, she says just you shouldn't open it. So meaning you shouldn't smell it.
So, I'm still struggling to understand this stuff. So,
it's a poison thing. Don't
Yeet.
open it. Throw it at somebody.
Yeet the bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a flask and not. I thought it was a flask and not like a glass bottle.
It is a flask.
So I was like,
it is a glass flask. Yeah.
Okay. Glass flask. Got it. Cool. So this is a okay.
How large is the flask?
How large?
From what you can gather, there's about 34 ounces of the liquid in there, and that takes about half of the flask itself, so you'd guess maybe 68-ounce flask, roughly.
Send to attach to arrow.
And she said we would owe her 2,000 gold and worth of whatever loot we get. How prosperous is the city we're raiding?
I'll tell you what.
How likely is it that we would get that much?
So you can give me one of two rolls, and I put this to the entire party on this as you all kind of contemplate the chance of wealth. Gather information. I'll take you there. Gather information, which that'll be based on you having learned as you've been traveling with the mercenary company and what they've been saying, as well as any other stray troops or anybody in the supply network. Option 2 is you can do a knowledge history, in which you will be able to gather some information on it, and you'll get that from the actual history. Gather information.
Okay, so history or information.
Correct.
I think both my bonuses for those are the same.
19 on gather information.
Nice. Okay.
If I don't have knowledge history, is it just base knowledge with a...
It's just an intelligence check, yep.
Okay.
I got a 15 gather.
I rolled a 9.
So
9.
that's doing... I'll also do history since Aldrin's gather information was so good.
Okay.
I got a 19.
Nice. So 2 19s. Sen and Ned, as you both kind of think about it, the city, I mean, it's got big walls, there's a lot of houses, you're pretty sure that this place has got to be pretty wealthy. It's bigger than any of the cities you've seen in Krikek.
I'm working on troll logic. The walls are not colorful. This must not be prosperous.
They are plain in their coloration. For Domnander, with your knowledge history, you would know that Adventure's Beginning is the second richest city known outside of the Movasi Empire. It is one of the largest cities for adventurers, and most exotic goods come trading through its ports. It was one of the main competitors with Greg's Marathon, who in his Diamond's Death, Diamond's Death. Which was considered one of the richest city outside of the Movasi Empire.
Okay.
This city is extremely wealthy, from what you'd know. For your gather information, Uldren, as you start to kind of, from when you were talking to the mercenaries and spending your free time, much of those who worked in the supply train seem to have actually been from the city, having spoken of how the city was quite wealthy, almost a direct competitor in every way to Greg's Marathon, but focused more on quality goods rather than quantity of goods, and less focused on the value of coin and merchandise moving through, and more on selling an actual valued product. The city was known as basically a city of artisans, and it's one of the reasons why it attracted many adventurers. A lot of people speak about how the city was at one point, the roads were paved in gold. The city's adamantine mine is supposedly one of the largest in the world, and that city has grown quite wealthy just on that alone. Many of the mercenaries seem to talk about the idea that they expect the barracks and armory to be filled to the brim with magic goods, though there's a lot of talk as well that they're afraid that there are, due to the use of fire spells, most of those magic weapons would be destroyed.
Okay.
What if I just paid you in gold right now?
What is that, Uldren?
Huh?
What if I paid you in gold right now?
She looks at you and goes, "Sure. I mean, I'll take gold if you had it. It's just, given your rugged appearance, you can understand why I can't expect you to have much here."
Don't snorts a bit, not in like offense, but like amusement.
Oh, I
He
put
is
my hand to
still
my
wearing,
chest.
Okay.
Yeah, Donunder's still wearing kind of. I think he's lost a few layers, but he's still wearing the like fur coat, like northern style, simple like tunic with the like gold and black metallic, like almost snakescale like clothing. So he definitely. I don't think he looks poor, but he definitely does not look wealthy. So he understands the hesitation. And then Ned is Ned. So...
I put my hand to my chest, very offended here, as I pull out my fat coin purse. And I will say, so your initial offer was 2,000 gold, you said, along with, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 20% of what we find?
No, just the 2,000 gold or equivalent in goods.
I will hand over 2,000 gold pieces.
She kind of takes the coin and goes, "Wow, you guys really are easy to just make pay. God, mercenaries are much. You guys really aren't mercenaries." As she kind of pockets the gold. Well, all right. She takes the vial of oil back from Sen and goes, "Big guy is yours. The potions are yours. Enjoy yourself. Don't breathe it in. Last time I watched Neff tear through half an army when he decided to snort it. Although to be fair, I did tell him it was an energizer potion. I got quite a scolding for that."
How much for the oil?
"Oh, you don't want this." "Yeah, I don't think your
Sen-
coin purse could afford it, I'm sorry."
Sen, do you want the oil?
Is this the bright oil that's a beacon?
Yes.
Wasn't
Sten looks at you,
she?
looks at his equipment that's built for super long range, and he shakes his head no.
Okay.
I was gonna say, wasn't she offering it to the party under an assumption we can afford it? Can Domnander gather? I'll make a sense motive check if not, but I feel like it's obvious. Can Domnander gather she's trying to extort money out of Aldrin because he's proven himself to be rich and clearly not a barterer?
Yeah, give me a sense motive.
Can Dom Nutter do something to be like, yeah, she's
Yeah.
just trying to
Give me a
scam
sense
a bunch of
motive.
money
Let's
right now.
see what you've got. Let's see what you roll.
I'm under the firm belief that this is definitely what's happening.
Let's see.
Now that she knows his pride's been hurt, she's like, oh, you couldn't possibly afford another nat 20, so a 25.
As you look at her, it's not the it doesn't seem the interest that towards that direction. It's pretty clear that it's not a look of cost. It's more of a look that she's just suckered someone into buying something that is going to go maybe more experimentally. This might be a little bit of a smile of excitement for an employee to get him to buy something that does what it says, but may do some other things as well, or may not.
The Energizer, whatever the red mist potion is the experimental thing?
No, the red
Okay.
mist, as you look at it, kind of reading the label now on the side of it, appears only after you hand her the coin. It reads Insanity Mist.
Oh. So does it say if this will kill the person who takes it or simply drive
It just
them
has a skull and crossbones on the vial with it.
Okay. No other noted. Donander still takes that to mean don't inhale it yourself. Donander will. I mean, Aldrin can attempt to make the purchase if you want, but Donander will ask beforehand, kind of gesturing to the potion, is this something that will make enemies attack other things, or is this something that will make enemies weak for us to attack?
Oh, you're talking about the label. Oh, don't worry about the label. That's misleading. That's just the start of what I mixed in there. There's like 7 other poisons mixed into that. You really don't want to be in the same room when that thing breaks.
Wonderful. Donander smirks a bit at
I call
that,
it-
perhaps a little too.
She kind of she sees you smile. She goes, "I call that the Ultimus poison."
Ultimus poison, huh? Perhaps, will you be at the encampment after the battle as well?
Oh, I'm Neff's second in command. Some say I'm even his lover. As she kind of waves her fur through the air, giving a wry smile. But mostly, I'm just gonna be beating the youngins from Cryptic Cabal around as making sure they survive. Though, I've got my catapult ready. We should make it.
Well, if you are around, I would love to get a lesson or two about you and how to make something like that. I've gotten a few from another mentor, but he's predisposed with more important business elsewhere.
She kind of looks at you up and down and goes, "Sweetheart, if you're flirting with me, you are about 10 feet too large and about 3 feet too long in the middle."
It's okay. Send believe in
No,
catapult. Troll belief do great.
It's an earnest offer. I would like to learn more. And of course I would compensate you for your time.
Sweetheart, I'm not a whore, I promise you. I'm a mercenary, and I don't teach people the tricks of my trade. But, that being said, I will give you this. If you can manage to keep some of that vial, you should give it to your friend. The short one with the white hair. I think you'll find it quite interesting. Or at the very least, hit him with it. I'm fine with either, personally. Actually, preferably if you can smack him with it.
Welcome back. Smack.
She kind of smiles and goes, but, if you want Aldrin, was it? Do you want this oil? Are you sure? I don't think this is the kind of oil you should be purchasing.
No, I've reluctantly changed my mind.
It's quite smart of you. I wouldn't want to break your bank. I don't think you could afford it, in truth. She kind of smiles as she takes the vial, the vial of oil and walks away, heading towards the outskirts of camp.
Aldrin, you
Yes.
are the one who coughed up the cash, so I have no qualms if you want to keep on your person, but I do have a mask that would keep me safe from the effects should it accidentally break, would you like me to hold on to it? And gestures towards the Ultimus poison.
No one send shoot from distance.
You can. I just am worried about what happens if something were to break it during transit.
It shouldn't be a problem. I am quite careful, and regardless, I will probably just be handing it off to Sen as soon as possible.
If you need to, you can tuck it into the moss. It'll never break.
Dominator looks at Ned, who is, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have that high AC, isn't that mobile, has no armor, and just is.
I have studded
Gotta
leather
go.
armor on, actually. Mastercraft.
Okay, you
Is-
do. Okay.
Is that
Oh.
But no
Okay, I
clothing on
forgot about
underneath the leather armor.
Oh,
I-
okay, that's where the confusion came in.
So I get it, it's a trusted method for you, but I want to ask, is it a tried and trusted? Like, you've done this multiple times and proven that it in fact will not break?
I mean, I lift my arm up and you can see Hootie just kind of hanging out.
In your armpit?
You know what?
Not in my armpit, but like underneath the stomach area.
I think this is my time to pull a ton. I look at.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Aldrin. I look at the bag of holding on my waist. I look at Aldrin.
Before you even said that, I was going to say, I just hand it to Sen.
If Dominator, will pipe up and go, if you think it's something you can't use long range, I can use it close range safely, but I think your method is best, so long as we can get there once it's dissipated to collect our heads. Which might be a job for me, and taps the gas mask on his belt.
I mean, I don't think any poison mist lasts more than a minute for 3.5 poisons.
I will say, Sen, you give me let's say a gather information check to see if you would know, saw this this concoction in action when Ultimus was testing it.
Charisma's my lowest stat.
Listen, hey, that's fair.
14. I have no modifiers. So.
As you remember back to it, you remember there was a catastrophe with two of the recruits recently that Neff had brought on as potential squires to the group. As this stuff was used, they had gone out with Ultimus to test it on a field of goblins and found out that it does eat through leather and can. Therefore, as you see the mask that Dominander kind of ushers towards, it doesn't take you long to realize that mask will not make it through that mist.
Using melee. Asen just shakes his head and puts it in the bag.
Dominator, I guess we'll trust that Sed knows what he's talking about, and we'll scrap that plan. As cool as the idea of people going mad around me and dying was, I do not want to scrap Dom this early.
Does it join them?
I think
It is
Sen comes
only
over
session 8.
That's fair.
I think Sen comes over as knowing things. He's wearing a lot of magic items for a random person.
Yeah. You are someone who's been around. You look competent. Dom not there, trust what you're saying.
Alright. So as you look at the map, I will note that eventually one of the commanders of one of the lower commanders kind of comes in, kind of pointing to where the rest of the groups are going on the map of the city, kind of showing you that there's a group called the Cryptic Cabal that'll be heading to the opposite side of the city to hit the armory at the same time, alongside the right hand of Neff, Ultimus. That group is set to basically completely distract the entire city as loudly as possible. They'll kind of show that Neff is been ordered to basically secure the outer city, the inner city walls and castle with his men, as far as it's noted. And then you guys are marked as the last of the 3 assault groups that are going into the city tonight, as you are noted as going towards the barracks on the far western end of the city. Unfortunately, where the main gate that is currently not blocked, as there you see the 2 large gates of the city set. So as you see the guard count, the rough area, you see these walls are being guarded about 5 or 6. It looks to be 5 or 6 guards roughly per section of wall. Though as you're looking outside and looking at the largeness of the city, it's undermanned. It's not hard to tell from this distance. This looks like the main army has left the city already, from what you can tell. And that seems to be what the commander that kind of gives you this rundown explains after finally kind of going through everything. And then points out that you lot will be heading out within the hour as nightfall starts to kind of hit as they excuse themselves to leave you lot.
In troll fashion, must paint my skin.
Can Dom Under attempt to spend whatever time they have left just listening in, or even maybe co-mingling, and not only in attempts to just like get a feel for the rest of the mercenaries, but in trying to overhear what like other people's plans are, like if there's any groups talking about going to a specific place, taking a specific path, basically trying to get an idea about like what all the other squadrons are going to be doing, so that way he's in the know.
Yeah. Give me a gather information roll. That's our roll. That's our skill for the night.
Listen,
No.
if I just awkwardly stood in the back of the corner, just brooding.
Let me put it this way. Are you trying to be spotted, or are you just trying to hear what people are talking about?
I think Domnander, if he gets the feeling that these mercenaries don't get along and might be hostile, would just be like standing around, listening in, and kind of not looking, not trying to hide, but not going outright to approach mercenaries, just kind of being around, walking around, seeming like he's maybe getting used to his surroundings or looking for his party, kind of like I'm at a party I was invited to, I don't know where my friends are, I'm just hanging around in the back listening to people's, like, just vibing type of energy while, like, intentionally listening to people.
Let's give me a listen check then. If you're going for if you're just listening to what everyone's talking about and you're not specifically looking for any information, then yeah. All right.
I mean, I am listening for information. I just don't know if I'll succeed.
Yeah, you got to choose one or the other. You either listen in general or you're gathering information.
You know what? I'll take the gamble. I'll gather the information. I need to up that as soon as possible. Oh boy.
Aldrin over here, I imagine sitting with a +7 to fucking his gather info.
Listen, he could do the same if he wants.
18. As you kind of head out into the mercenary groups, hearing them out as the night kind of starts to carry on, many of them seem to be talking about general information, stuff that doesn't seem to catch much of your interest. You hear the Minotaur group is, from what you gather, is planning to assault the main gate that is unblocked. As you hear that was confirmed, only one of the 2 gates have been completely cordoned and blocked off. They plan to attack, it seems, about roughly towards the end of Nef's raid, by what you've gathered. The Golden Heart mercenary company that has signed on, though only a few members, as you count 12 in total, you do see Stop sitting there, or Staw, sitting amongst their numbers. They seem to be kind of talking and laughing and joking. Above their banner, though, you do notice they do have a different banner of a golden mug with a skeleton hand and red, like, liquid kind of pouring out of it, out of the cup. But otherwise, that lot sounds like they're being held back and waiting for the next, or for the main attack from the Vanguard. The other 2 mercenary companies, the Golden Hand and another one that you never really caught the name of, both seem to, from what you can tell, be planning to attack the city come first daylight, basically. As it sounds like the attack on the city is supposed to go in continuous waves, is what you gather overall throughout the rest of the next 2 hours before you have to head back to your tent to be ready and head out with your group.
Was our group just The three of us plus Sen and the 2 escorts, or was there other people assigned to our group?
From what you could tell, it looked like it was Sen, and that was the only other person who's joined with you lot.
Okay, so
Saw
we
was
are
with
the
them,
only
too.
people
Well, yes,
hitting
sure.
the barracks.
Yeah,
I
you.
want to put
Noted.
Neff's words out there. He did say you were going with his main force. Was his word?
Yeah, that is true. That is correct.
With the main force. Okay, so
I
just didn't know who all was with us and who all were doing different things.
Over
so
those,
getting a feel for that.
No worries. Over those 2 hours, Ned, what are you doing?
So I actually would like to take the Arctic main tooth that I have, and I have a pouch with sling bullets. I would like to empty the bullets just into my backpack and kind of use the pouch to make kind of a makeshift shank or dagger with the tooth.
Okay. So kind of to make a handle out of the pouch. Okay, as you wrap it around it. Yeah, give me let's say a craft,
There is weaponsmithing.
Yeah, I guess that is weaponsmithing. If you have weaponsmithing, if not, then just do a general...
I have 2 class skill crafts, but I didn't take anything, so...
what's your 2 class skill crafts?
I have 2 as class skills.
Because even if you don't put points, you were supposed to pick 2 that are...
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as far as it goes, if you don't have any investment into some weapon making, then let's go with a general check for it.
The regular craft check.
Yeah, basically.
A 10.
10. As it's crude, you wrap the handle or the bag around the tooth. It's kind of a rough shank as you put something together. It's definitely gonna not hold out or hold, but you figure the weapon, as long as no one smacks it or hits it out of your hand, you should be able to use it.
I mostly need the bonk stick, but just in case something gets too close, I figured this tooth would be kind of sharp.
It does 1d2 of damage plus 2 cold damage.
Nice.
As you make this. Alright, and then...
and Tom cracks his knuckles.
Right. Send over the 2 hours, you said you were going to paint yourself, am I correct?
I'm making a campfire like the trolls melt their coins.
Okay.
Just with a little pot. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be painting my gloves blue and my boots red.
Okay. As you begin to do so, give me... there's actually a craft painting skill. So, if you have that, I'll take it. If you have...
has it.
You have performed for... Huh?
I do have craft.
There you go. Let's go with that.
Hey.
I thought it was funny for a troll.
It works out.
17.
17. As you go and kind of start painting your boots and your gloves, it seems to come through evenly. Feeling the enchantment. You said blue on the gloves, correct?
Yeah.
You don't seem to notice any change at first, though they do. The blue color or metal kind of smelts onto it comfortably, and then you said red on your boots.
Yeah.
You can add a 5 feet increase to your movement speed.
Beautiful.
All right. As Sen goes to melt down his metal coins, Uldren, what are you doing?
I'm going to ensure that my weapons are in order, well and sharp.
Okay.
Go ahead and do a light exercise to get my blood pumping for the act of tumbling and climbing rope, moving around quickly. And, is there a messenger pigeon?
As you look about the camp is going through, you do see it. There is someone who has a wizard who has set up a tent. A kobold who seems to be working with the other mercenary groups. He charges a gold piece per message.
I'll hand him 2 gold pieces because I don't think I never got a response from the people last time from Saturday Party. I'm going to pay off my debt.
As you send this message, you hear the message kind of. Now, who are you saying this to first off? Which member of Saturday Party?
So I will say it to Rolliman.
Okay. As you send this message, the gentleman looks up at you and goes, "Seems it was received. He hasn't responded."
All right. Have him meet me, or you know what? I'll actually be meeting him. Tell me ask him where he is going, and when he does respond, hopefully before the raid, tell me so that I can head there after this.
He looks up at you and goes, "Seems they're going to Kror Castle within a few days after they take care of some stuff up in... I can't understand the word. Something retreat."
Alright. I will make my way over there at some point. I'll hand him another gold piece and send a message to Utham.
Regan Utham? You mean the king of frost giants? You just want me to send a message to him casually?
If you can. If not, I will...
He does have a right hand. You would know the right hand's name.
No, you're right. I would rather send it to the right hand. Let me check my notes.
I don't think it's in your notes. I'll write it for you.
It's not. Thank you. Send a message to Volgira Frostax. Meant for Utham.
Alright.
I am about to do a raid. If I do not make it, know that I appreciate everything you've done for me.
Buddy, is this a will? Because I'm going to be honest, Neff has given a clear instruction. We're not sending out death wills. That'd be wasting messages and company time. It's bad for morale as well.
No.
Alright, because this is sounding real sad. I don't really, you need to kind of pick it up here and tell me what you're actually wanting sent. Kind of keep the floweriness down to a minimum. I don't get paid by word here.
No, I am sending that. I do want to add on that I'm trying to think of what to say to make it not sound so fucking depressing.
Alright, you're done. If you die, you want him to know that you served him well, and if you don't die, you want him to know that you're going to be going off somewhere, I assume. Is that enough to figure out?
Yeah.
Alright, so here, I'm going to summarize it. Where are you going if you survive?
To Klovasi's castle, I believe it was said.
Who?
I butchered the fucking name.
Yeah, where are you going, Caleb? Tell me about it.
It started with a K, I know it. It literally was just told to me. Why am I already blanking?
I don't think there... Kror starts with a C.
Oh.
It's funny, that's the same city you went into on fucking Monster Monday last campaign. That's where you ended the campaign.
That is where we ended the Monday campaign.
Okay.
The Tothlands.
Oh, hope I'm heading to the Tothlands. I'm just gonna say that.
That was a lot easier. Yeah, let me give me a minute. He says something about why the hell are you letting him know he doesn't care?
Nice.
He said something about you can report to him when you want. This is the first time you're reporting like you're gonna die. There's more something about crying. You're crying a lot. Oh, and how's Dom?
Dom is doing well.
Is that from Bulgaria or
Yeah.
from Utah?
It's from Bulgaria.
All I can tell you is the gentleman. The gentleman sounds very hollow inside. I won't lie by the way he speaks. Something about the lines of, yeah, you don't need to message him when you're about to die. It's pretty easy to tell if you guys are gonna die. Something about Regan Utham knows where you guys are already because it was pretty obvious. There's a lot he's talking about. I'm gonna be honest. I don't get paid by the word here, so he understands and sends his regards. There are other people waiting in line if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, I leave.
You head out of the tent, seeing a guy go in with a picture of what looks to be another Rakshasa, and you hear from inside the tent go, "I told you no letters back to sweethearts. I'm not doing the phone sex thing again over message for you." And
How scandalous.
As you all kind of gather back at the tent together, having kind of done your deeds here, gone about the fire being kicked out, the night kind of finally coming to a head, the eye of the storm about 2 miles to the south of you at this point. And you can hear as the the mercenaries are starting to pack up and gather their gear, the sounds of the creaking of a wooden wheel moving, and the kind of arguing in the distance can be heard somewhat. Though the language seems to be quite mixed, and a bit of it keeps being pierced by the word "ton," as a group seems to head off in one direction.
Huh.
All right.
Wonder what a ton is.
That is a very interesting looking turtle.
A lot of something.
As you lot continue with the main group of Neff's mercenary group, you see as you start heading towards the city, many of them seemingly covering their armor in this blackened coloration. Some of it being paint, others seem to have put other types of plates on top of their armor to hold and cover the coloration. In the distance, it looks you see for a moment as 2 figures seem to go up on the walls, and the few torches up on the walls seem to disappear almost as quickly. As the rest of this group of what looks like now you count to be almost 30 people kind of head up to the wall and start throwing their grappling hooks up. As the first amongst them, you see a large, what looks to be tiger-like figure who seems to be pulling almost leagues ahead of the rest of the group, who seems to be chasing after him with a loud huff. A few of them seeming to get tired as they go and slowing down their pace about halfway, but most of them getting over the wall quite quickly. You lot are left at the bottom with Sen, and the ropes already set up, the grappling hooks already set as the rest of the mercenary company goes over the walls and starts heading in with the chaos.
Sen's gonna hand something out to the party first. As per his religion, I must give a statuette of my god to each person for luck.
Who's your god?
The great... Well, you wouldn't know in character, but the great Skyleaker is the god's name.
Skyleaker?
Yes. It is painted blue, and it's a mutated song dragon with troll features.
Mutated dragon.
God protect.
I appreciate this, friend. Don
And
Hunter
then
will pocket it.
I also appreciate the gesture, but, nature is my all-being.
Oh, unlucky. Understood. And I'll start climbing.
Unlucky.
Blue is the troll's lucky color, and he said he doesn't worship it. He doesn't believe in the luck.
You know what?
Love blue.
If I can, I'll tie it to my belt.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a use rope check just to see how good the knot is.
It's a shit knot because I got an 8.
You tie it on your belt. It's an awkward shape, and it's not exactly. It doesn't feel comfortable as any place on your belt as you try to move it about. Eventually, you settle on a place, putting it on your back hip. You can still kind of feel awkwardly pushed up against you a little bit, and the rope seems to dig in the wrong spots. The knot looks to be a normal butterfly knot, like you'd use to tie your shoes.
That's like the weakest knot.
So I look to the party. Are we going to be taking this potion, or should we just start climbing?
I think the potion's going to require the least amount of effort and get us up there the quickest.
Also, do you want to climb check DM for me climbing the rope?
Oh, you gonna just climb over?
Sen wasn't told there was a flying potion, so he's climbing.
Yeah, give me a climb check.
I take my shot and pass it on.
As 19, okay. Ned takes a drink of it. Ned, it's got a slightly like almost minty flavor to it. That tastes almost like toothpaste mint as you take it down.
Good snack.
Good snack.
And then I just like jump.
As Ned starts floating up into the air, kind of past Sen, as Sen starts climbing, hand over hand up the rope, pulling himself up. Dom and Odrin, you are left with the flying, a portion of the flying potion, as Ned had taken a shot out of it.
I'll take the next shot unless Aldrin goes for it first.
I'll let you.
Alright. As Dom starts to float up.
Looks at Aldrin, cheers, takes his shot, hands it off to Aldrin, and we'll go up.
Kick off the ground and starts floating after, easily catching up with... Alright, Aldrin, you're left as the last one as you watch the others float above as well as climb up.
I take a swig.
As you take a swig of it, you feel the effect kind of go warm your entire body as you feel yourself almost lighter than air. When as you kick off the ground, following after the party, I assume.
Yeah, with it coiffed, I will be taking a leap.
Okay. As you chase after the party, the three of you manage to get over the walls just as Sen manages to climb up to the top, pulling himself upwards. There looks to be about 2 guards already completely unconscious off to the side, stripped of their armor, weapons, only left with their what looks to be their small cloth, the clothes they were wearing beforehand, and their torches that are already extinguished. Looking down on the city, you see hundreds of houses. The city looks to be a massive maze, but as you look about, you see the large castle far to the north of the city. Off to the east, you see you start to hear before you see a loud the singing of some beautiful voice kind of starting to pick up as the sound. Where did you post it, Aldrin?
It's in Monster Monday.
Yeah, I gotta go find it again.
The song Survive.
Yeah, the song Survive, the Odyssey music begins to play as you hear the singing kind of going on in the background. Almost an eerie chanting that kind of picks up the music alongside it as the music begins to go. At the same time as the music starts, a loud explosion seems to be heard from the same direction as the city begins to fall into chaos. Explosions in the streets and the sounds of screaming and metal clashing. Off to the west, you see the semi-large barracks castle-like building that seems to stand off to its own as it protects the western gate. That is the gate where the Minotaurs had said they were going to attack. You can see it looks to be, from even this distance, you can see the torches kind of scampering about, and notice that a lot of the light sources are heading away from the barracks and into the city proper as the battle takes hold. Though as you roughly count without a search check, you guesstimate their numbers to be somewhere between 30 to 50 that leave the barracks themselves.
I mean, no time to waste, right? I'd like to start heading towards the bear.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Start flying towards it.
I was gonna say, just Aldrin, since you still have the flying potion, are you gonna give Sen any, or are you just gonna let Sen kind of run for it?
No, I'll give it to Sen so he can also...
Sen pops his back and starts running at 220 feet around.
Oh, Jesus Christ. As you go to turn Aldrin to hit, thinking, as you realize, it'd be kind of nice to help out your compatriot here, as you go to offer him a shot of the flight potion. And as you do, there's nothing but like a Sen-shaped dust cloud left, as in the distance, you can see more dust being kicked off the ground as this individual goes running.
I slowly blink behind my mask. Okay.
Did you know that a troll has a base 50-foot movement speed just for existing?
No, I did not.
Trolls are fast.
Just so you know, Aldrin,
fast as fuck.
when you turn around to see Ned, he is just tumbling through the air because he has never flown before, and this is a weird concept.
Oh my god.
I imagine Dome, under being a monk and being more dexterous, is doing not like swimming motions, but some sort of
acrobatics,
like running in air, like motions to make himself move faster. And unlike Ned, probably looks way more graceful doing it. But maybe not having as much fun. I don't think Dom Under's pretty serious right now.
You know what? I just slowly look at them, slowly look towards the barracks, just slightly shake my head, and in a complete standing motion, just begin flying towards it.
All right. As the three of you
midair.
While flailing through air, Ned looks at Aldrin, just mesmerized. Gracefulness.
You know what? If I get a bonus for it, I'll T-pose.
Don't worry, Sen will kill enemies. It gets quieter.
Right. Okay. Give me 1 sec. I am just doing something 1 sec. There we go. Okay. As you lot head into the city towards the barracks, he's snorting a weed. No, I was charging a weed. Because my pipe is dead in the background. As you lot head into the city, flying over, you see the clashing of metal as the streets seem to fill with shadows, almost causing a unnatural darkness, as the only thing that seems to be seen is the clashing of iron or of metal on metal, sparks kind of flying, and the sound almost seems eerie as this song continues through the air. As you lot finally make it to the outskirts of the barracks, many of the buildings, the houses around it already having been burnt down and destroyed, looking like this happened before you had arrived here. You can't help but notice the mercenaries throughout the city seemingly singing along to the eerie tune that plays as this goes. You lot finding yourselves now looking at the castle gates of this massive, like what you think is a castle in itself, as this stands a major obstacle to the gate. In the walls outside, as you look up, don't seem to have anyone standing in them. You don't see any torches immediately as you come to the front gates of the barracks themselves that are kind of slightly spurred open. Not as if they've been broken, but as if someone like rushed out and forgot to actually close the gate. They seem to be slightly cracked open as you look in. The entire courtyard looks to be almost abandoned, minus the some equipment lying on the ground.
I'm assuming just like base weapons and stuff of equipment.
Oh, what it looks like, yeah. It looks like mostly bronze and copper. Swords, spears, javelins, shields, a little bit of armor here and there, pieces of it, but that's about it, yeah.
Yeah, not worth the time. Yeah. Alright, well, exploration waits for no one. I'll head in.
Alright, does the rest of the party follow? Yeah?
Yeah.
Dom?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
As you lot head into the city itself, the barracks itself, kind of heading into the castle through the castle wall or door here. Are you guys trying to do this stealthily, or are you just going in without any concern?
There is not a stealthy bone in Ned's body.
That's fair.
I'm a stealth build. Do it.
Okay, Sen.
All right. Yeah, so Dunder's gonna try to be quieter. I don't think I'm good at stealth, but I'm gonna try.
All right, those who are, give me a move silently and a hide check. Yes, Aldrin?
All right. Yeah, I'm going stealth.
Okay.
Hide is 18.
For the lols.
Move silently is 11.
Oh, don't worry, boys. While y'all will get seen, I fucking won't.
My You know what? I'm gonna type it out so y'all can just see what happened.
Sen
I don't know how this is gonna play out roleplay wise, but
Damn.
I just imagine Sen goes in first. The next person walks in, Sen's gone.
Alright.
Hey, look at the bright side, Ned. You're moving quieter than the ninja is.
I can't
With my
believe I
bare
just rolled
feet
what I rolled
slapping the floor.
when Ned actually gets a decent roll for once.
Alright, what Dom get? Oof.
Yeah.
As Sen
Why
kind of
me? Why me of all people?
And who's carrying the ultimate poison concoction?
It's in my bag of holding.
Okay. As Sen heads in, have you kind of creeping around the door, just out of sight for a moment. Sen disappears from sight as the three of you kind of head into the courtyard. Seemingly unseen as you enter the main courtyard, a couple wagons seemingly set off to the side, destroyed. A couple of horses that seem to be currently chewing on some grass in one of the corners of the courtyard. You hear the occasional grumble and the clash of weapons out further into the city, but it doesn't sound like there's anything going on within as you take a listen. It's almost uneasily quiet.
I mean, point of stealth, because they're not going to know where I'm going. I'm going to follow them when they move. The rest of the party.
Okay.
I would like to go over to the horses.
Okay.
As
you walk over to the horses, all right, yeah.
I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh no. Okay.
And as quietly as Ned can, and he's got a pretty loud voice, just so where'd everybody go?
The two horses kind of look at you for a moment as they look at each other, back and forth, and one goes, "Wait a minute, they can talk." The other one looks at it, the responds and goes, "Nah, man, it's the grass we're eating. I think it's got something in it." And they just both turn to look at you.
Your everyday friendly druid.
Oh. The larger of them, that seems to be kind of brownish in coloration, kind of looks at you and goes, "Everyone went out. There's clashes of things. The scaled things are smacking each other outside. They started shouting things. And then running with the bright sticks, and then that was it. We didn't see any more. Oh, and the other, the smaller of the two, almost full white color, like as far as their pattern goes, looks over at you and goes, "But there's four of them still inside, I think. There might be even there's an officer somewhere around here. He's a bit. I think that's what they keep calling him. The scaled humies." As he nods up and down.
Well, I think that's really the information I was looking for. For your health and sake, I'm gonna unstrap you and open your gate so you guys can find your freedom if you'd like.
Wait, is there better grass outside?
I mean, I would avoid all the fighting and killing, and you'd probably find some pretty good grass.
Say no more. There's grass.
Also,
as both of them nod. Mm-hmm.
Sin, if you were stealthily following Ned, you were just listening to him perfectly, just horse noises.
Oh, unintelligent.
This is why he doesn't serve the idol.
As Ned opens the gate, the gates to their little areas, setting them free, they immediately go rushing out, kind of pushing the door or the gateway open at the front of the barracks as they take off into the city. The last thing you hear is that And then a splat sound is heard in the distance.
As I go back to the group, I tried to warn them. He said there were, 4 in the
yeah, they said 4 plus another one.
So it sounds like there's 5 total. One of them is a higher ranking officer.
Okay.
We should go for that one then.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure where one is, the other 5 are probably going to be.
Yeah.
Then under nods.
As you are having this conversation, Dominander's voice is a little louder than, kind of carries a bit more heavier on the wind as you three are talking. And you hear from the far side of the courtyard, though the sounds of battle throughout the city are heavily heard, you can't help but notice the eeriness amongst the barracks as you hear the opening of a wooden door and 2 guards in common going, "Yeah, I swear I heard someone's voice." The other one going, "Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, it could have been the wind. There's something going. They said there was something going on in the city. I bet you it's a riot. Ever since Alathandir took away the food rations and said we're gonna be saving up down to 1 meal a day, people have been upset. Just count yourself lucky." As they kind of come around the corner, walking right past all 3 of you, and as well as Sen, going kind of down the side of the right side of the courtyard and back up into the northern portion of the map towards one of the doors that kind of opens up to reveal what looks to be a bunch of 4 or 2 other guards in there playing cards, as they seem to have a couple coins on the table and seem to be laughing and joking. The door shuts behind them as you hear the last one go, "I swear I heard something, but..." Sen, from your perspective, you just watch these guards walk past the very clearly obvious 3 fire giants standing in the middle of the courtyard, doing very little to hide themselves besides crouching in a shadow.
Not as good as troll guards.
And Dominander is so tall that even in the shadow crouch, he's like at the height of most humanoids.
Yep.
Well, we know where the 4 are now.
Which room did they enter on the map?
19. It's in the top right.
You can see the little round table.
Oh, I was looking at the complete opposite section. Okay, so they're directly across from where we're at. Okay, cool.
Alright, what do you want to do?
If we don't want to fight them, our choices are either 3A or all the way down to the building areas at the bottom.
What's 3A?
That's top left.
3A's, yeah.
I was reading what it was on the map labeled as.
From what the prison says, what the thing says, it's a guard post for the prison cells. Supposedly this would be where peasants and people of the city would be kept. These wouldn't be political or important prisoners. Those would be kept in the castle itself.
I think Domnander kind of looks at the others and goes, "If we go to I'll just say the name because I'm not sure how he would describe in person, but like 20B, 20A, we could make our way up towards where they are to take them out. If we go up to the building to the left, it will be isolated and we'll have to expose ourselves again to leave."
If go to 3A, could free prisoners.
Yeah.
Domlander seems to actually pause and consider that. "Do you think they'd fight with us?" And then looks around where he heard the voice of Sen and does not see him.
No, but could start fires.
I could give them a flint and steel I have.
Oh, Sen
Domlander
has
seems to nod and approve of that.
Sen has explosive oil. As I'll go over to 3A.
Alright. As you head over, this quiet, almost silent voice that just kind of seems to kind of disappear once more. Do you make yourself known enough, Sen, that the party can see you so that they know what to watch for?
I think when I get over to the door, roughly, yeah, they'll just kind of see Sen sort of appear near 3A.
Okay. Yeah, as Sen kind of oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. As Sen kind of goes to open the door, looking inside, and there's no one. There doesn't seem to be any guards or anything in there. It's somewhat empty as you see the table and chairs set aside. So there's the party. I assume you guys are following after Sen, or are you guys going to go in a different direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Want to make sure. As you three head in with Sen into 3A, you hear the sounds of what sounds like rattling metal on metal, and the occasional. Do any of you speak primitive?
Sendu.
Okay.
No.
I do not.
All right.
I speak Common Draconic Giant.
Sen, you hear in primitive. And I told you lot that I was nothing but a wizard. I studied at the finest schools in Dragon's Crown, and I was the Grand Cleric at the time underneath Movasi himself.
I hear this from, like, the prison cell area?
It does sound like it's coming from within the prison cell, beyond the door.
Can I look for keys in the guard area? I want to see if they just...
Yeah. The rest of you, as Sen is looking around for the keys, are any of you looking for
Waiting
anything?
for them to cancel the order.
Oh, okay. Well, they're gonna. I don't think the guards are gonna cancel the order. Yeah, I was gonna say.
You never know. We could convince them.
Having some DoorDash issues. Sorry.
Oh, I feel that. Go ahead.
I will look for like any signs of like Sen's looking for keys. I guess I'll look for any weapons, anything of use, the items that seem important, gold, loot of that nature, and also keep an eye out for any prisoners that seem especially fit.
Yeah,
like for battle.
Give me a search check. Well, you're only in the one room. That would require you to go further into the building without the rest of the party immediately. So, just to kind of keep in mind, if you're gonna go.
To go further until.
So just searching this room.
Comes with me, but that is what Domnonder's looking for. Useful items or loot, prisoners that might be of use. So that's what he's going to be looking through the entire building.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also just looking for. Ned would be looking for donations.
Okay.
Anything that druids would be able to use.
All right.
I mean, from anything.
Aldrin, what about you?
I'll loot this whole place.
Ned, give me a search check. Yeah, go ahead, Aldrin.
So Sen's looking for keys. I have thieves' tools.
Oh.
Do you want to go free the guy whose language you don't speak?
You do just hear someone, grunting and making like yelling.
I don't know what he's saying. I do know that we were trying to free prisoners, but I cannot communicate to him whatsoever. So unfortunately,
man could be saying you're going to kill you, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, Sen also didn't tell me. So I'm just gonna. I'll just PM you.
Okay. All right, Dom, what'd you get for your search as well?
This at all for the rogue to do. 11.
Okay, 11.
I'm not a rogue. I'm a ninja.
Same difference, and you're being all sneaky and sneaky.
I'm a rogue.
Rogue is just without the assassination.
I am a rogue that decided to become a monk.
Hey, that's my deal, buddy.
Is that Huh.
Now I am a monk who has to decide to become a rogue, and then we'll be even.
Alright. Okay. Give me a second. Alright, as you do that to pick the lock, Sen, what was your search check?
21.
21. And Dom, what was your search check?
11.
11.
I rolled bad. I've been rolling bad this whole time.
With an 11, as you look about for anything of value, that's actually got of importance, you find a few pieces of like basic equipment, 2 short swords made of copper, and a spear, as well as a buckler. They seem to be set aside, kind of on a weapons rack, but that's what the only value you find. Ned, as you start kind of digging about, almost looking for any sort of coin in the couch cushions, getting down onto the ground. Excuse me, the motorcycle's out because of the nice weather. As you get down on the ground looking about, you find 4 gold pieces kind of stuffed under like a fire or held like wood pit that seem to have been completely forgotten.
Me or Sen?
Ned.
Me.
Oh.
From across the room, you would just hear, yes!
Alright.
4.
Yes, 4. Sen, as you look about, easily finding the keys hung up on the wall, even with the numbers for each of the what you assume to be the prison cells, fully already set aside. The rings all seem to be there from what you count, and what you were told from the mercenary company that there were supposed to be roughly 3 prisoners within the prison itself of the barracks. But as you look over, you notice that Uldren has already managed by that point to pick the lock, easily pulling out his thieves' tools, shoving a couple of pieces of metal in, and then as you hear the click, the door opens. However, Uldren, you are spotted by Sen before you head further in.
Oh,
Okay.
Ninja Dumb 2, freeing prisoners without talking first. Oh.
Sen says this out loud.
Not smart party.
Down Under did not go ahead. Down Under is patiently waiting for the party before advancing to an unknown structure. Oh, not again.
As you lot kind of wait for Sen to take the lead once more, Sen, are you heading in?
Yep.
All right. As you head into the prison, unlocking the door for the first section, you hear the rattling of the chains and then the continued speak in primitive, as well as a quiet muttering from another individual. Though the rest of you pick up this individual does seem to be speaking in common and seems to keep saying something along the lines of, "Will you just shut up already?" as they kind of whisper this under their breath.
I want to look at the guy speaking primitive.
As you look in, you see a full, what looks to be an elegant, almost noble-like wizard outfit, long and and darkly colored robes, a very fine and beautifully crafted staff, and a 2-foot tall, what looks to be beastkin, sheep-like figure, or which immediately you realize is actually a ram, as the creature looks at you. Its big brown eyes and extremely fluffy fur kind of looks up at you with anger.
I look at the guy that was speaking primal, and I just go, "Oh, you speak
primitive.
You speak primitive. You speak smart tongue. Hello."
Oh god, it's an idiot! As he looks over at the other figure sitting in the cell behind him, you see a very small, what looks to be like crocodile-like figure chewing a giant piece of meat. It looks to be slightly raw, as they look to be in very commoner's clothing that's barely stitched together. Their slit of an eyes looking up at you, and their very long jaw kind of seems to already be wrapped up in this piece of meat.
I am Sen, Veggies assassin. You like to be free?
The beast, or the little wizard figure looks up at you and goes, "If you can understand how to free us, yes, and can you kill that crab-like figure?" As he points over with his tiny hand, and you see this fully armored, what almost immediately you pick up, Sen, is almost identical to Neff's own mercenary order, a fully armored crab-like figure who has one large, massive claw that has some strange writing of a rune in it that causes the claw to slightly smoke as you see. It seems to almost doing so unnaturally. A large crab-like head and then full armor, almost identical to Neff's own people as you look at him. He seems to be carrying a blackened blade that is sheathed with a ribbon that has tied the blade to to be shut.
You dressed like others.
He looks at you and in common goes, "I understand the primitive tongue, but I don't speak it."
You dress like Neff and friends.
I don't know this Neff fellow, and he looks over at
Sarah.
Aldrin and looks at Ned and Dom and goes, "You lot look like you're not from around here, so is this a prison break? Is the city under siege, I assume?"
City under siege.
He nods and goes, "Well, those two are actual criminals. I was a mercenary that was looking to be hired and was looking for a meal. Fortunately, they didn't like that I had a blade, and after smacking one of the guards, well, the one in charge of the barracks here, I kind of broke his pride, and I've been in here since. So if you wouldn't mind opening the door and unlocking."
How much money to hire you?
Personally, well, it depends. If you can afford me, I'm usually around 8,000 gold pieces a day, but it depends on the individual mission. I'll do any task you can, or I can, if it's interesting enough.
Here to destroy and loot barracks.
You wouldn't mind if I just leave and wait instead, would you?
I won't stop you.
He kind of waits and stares at the gate, or the key, the hole, and looks up at you. Looks back at the lock. Yes, Dom.
I'll unlock him.
I know this is gonna be a broken record. Can I sense motive on all of these prisoners just to get the vibe, like?
Yeah. What are you trying to figure out?
How stable they are, how likely they seem to attack or cooperate with us if released. Like,
Okay.
I know the one's like busy eating food. The sheepkin one just looks to be annoyed by everyone, and the crab person doesn't seem to care. But I just want to make sure they're not gonna like do anything stupid.
I just want you to
only
know,
15.
Yeah.
I'm picturing you like glaring at them, walking around in the room.
They like look at each of them.
Comes in, it does a full scan from one end to the other, like looking them all over.
As you
like a sensor scanner.
As you look them up and down, they don't seem to be clearly hostile towards you immediately. As far as their interest or reluctance to work with you a lot in attacking the city, from what it seems, the crocodile-like figure seems to be completely uninterested and neutral. The sheep or ram-like individual looks to be completely not necessarily interested in the situation, but doesn't seem to comprehend what's going on and just seems to be more interested in escaping. The crab, something feels weird about him. It's not hostile, but you do definitely feel a unusual reluctance. Given the weapon and the armor, this figure looks like they're almost as well outfitted as Neff, and from what you can tell, based on the way they carry themselves, they look like they are probably almost, if not more capable than Neff.
Noted.
And for your
I
own...
mean,
Yeah.
Dom sees fucking Sen walking over to the crab with the key.
Donander's not gonna stop. I don't think he wants to refuse to help a figure that's clearly stronger than them, and risk angering it. I do think he looks at the other two in the cell, since the crab sort of already stated their mind, and will go, we're not looking for you to fight, but if you would like to help cause distractions, perhaps some ruin to the barracks when we release you, you can help yourself to the loot we obtain. Whatever you get while ruining's yours to keep.
You see the other two seem to nod along, and the crocodile-like figure seems to swallow the giant piece of meat whole and seems to lick their lips and get excited walking over the door as they start to almost vibrate, bouncing up and down. Only standing 3 feet tall, I will mention.
I love this tiny little, out of character, I love this tiny little crocodile person so much. I would want to adopt them, but Domnander would not. So I'm so torn.
I want the ram.
The ram seems a little bit like pompous. I'm not sure how I feel about the ram.
The ram's personality would fit Saturday perfectly.
Sen, do you open it? Okay.
I'm trying all three.
As you unlock it, you see the crab kind of nod and go, and speak in perfect primitive to you, Sen, and go, stay in here for the next few moments. Let the others know. If they know the truth, they won't accept the situation. As he kind of bows and turns and starts walking, you see the crocodile seems to lick his lips excitingly as he goes bounding out the front door.
I'll look at the party and say, wait here for a moment.
Down Under is suspicious of the exchange, but will not move to stop the crab.
Aldrin, are you gonna do anything?
I'll stay in the room.
I'll keep looting the room.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll look around the cells and stuff for any potential.
As you do look about, you do find an item is left behind by the crab. When you look into the straw pit he had in the background set for a bed, there seemed to be something silver and kind of sticking out as he had walked out. Leaving it behind. As you go inside, Dom, you and Aldrin kind of looking through it. Aldrin kind of coming to the side of the cell next to it to look in. And as you go to pull out, you find a small, and I do mean as the size small, a light pick. It looks to be extremely well made as you pull it out of this hefty thing of hay. It's got some nasty gunk on it, but as you kind of wipe away this mystery material that you don't really try to think about too much, you kind of look at the end of the side of it, and it has a Master Smith mark on it. This would be easily recognized as a fire giant, as a common marking for any item that is considered a masterwork.
And has a shiv.
Pick?
A light pick.
Light pick, okay.
Yep.
I heard light pick, and I was very confused.
He had a shiv.
He did, yeah.
As you two as the four of you wait for a few moments, looking at this thing, kind of looking about the rest of the cells, now curious as you see this or find this item. Just now, you can't help but go and kick the straw bits as you see them. In the background, everyone, give me a listen check to see how much you guys hear.
Hell yeah!
Good, I might listen. Oh, actually not bad.
I love my listen.
I rolled a dirty 20.
16.
Nice.
I wish my rolls would get better.
Feel that pain?
One day.
I got a 7.
Oof.
19.
I thought you were the scout type character.
I know.
He is.
Apparently not today.
Sen and Ned, you both hear the screams of the guards just faintly for a moment. And then almost as if it dissipates moments later, as the individuals come back, the crab samurai-like figure kind of opening the door and kind of bows to you, covered head to toe in now this red-like liquid. The little crocodile beside him, also covered head to toe in red liquid, although currently chewing on what looks to be clearly a black-scaled arm in his mouth. Still bouncing, kind of smiling as he does so. The two figures then turn, and as they shut the door, seem to leave moments later.
I mean, I'm gonna go loot the now dead guards.
I wonder if we're gonna be able to tell which one the commander is.
You'll know.
They might have only gotten the guards. We'll have to see.
You'll know if you see Commander.
Yeah, I guess we'll go out to take the heads or other evidence that they were killed.
As
Gailey's fancy equipment.
As you three, or as the four of you head towards the gate or the guard posting, heading in there, as you open the door, there is viscera everywhere. There's bones kind of clattered against the wall. It looks like an explosion went off and these bodies got decimated in the bunch. The weapons and items that they had been carrying seem to have been crunched down into small bits of metal. Many of them looking to have almost a hefty, claw-like or scissors-like coloration to them, as if they were crunched down by something very heavy and hot in a scissors-like formation. As You notice bits and pieces seem to also be missing amongst the numbers of the guards. As you're pretty sure there should be more chunks of body parts, given that there were 4 fully grown, what looked to be kobold-like individuals. Yeah.
Other races eat troll.
Crocodile ate
Why not
them.
eat other races as well?
As you nod to that.
Is there enough pieces to get any heads or get any like arms, hands, legs, fingers?
There's fingers. You figure you can dig about. It'll take you a few minutes, but you figure you might be able to look at the material or dig through the materials and at least be able to gather enough individualist materials. It's just the problem is telling which is one person and which is another.
Common guard not worth it for proof of kill.
Are there any like chunks of tattered what look like commander's clothing?
As you look about, you only notice that all the materials look to all be the same for what was left. Pretty easily telling you these are probably all guards.
Commander won't be here. I suspect the commander is going to be further in the building somewhere.
Alright, let's see what. Well, we got 2 sleep areas and a hallway to choose from.
Let me look at the map again.
There's a sleep area above us. There's a sleep area to the right.
You can let go from 19, 17, 18. Is that another 17?
Yeah, because they're the same kind of room. Because they're both.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you can go through there and then out into the hallway and just continue onward. Do like
the officer's room's off to the side. It's number 13.
They'd go straight to the officer's room.
All
Might
right.
leave after all the visitor that just happened, so we might want to catch him soon.
Yeah.
Which
Let's
does
let's go to the office.
Alright. So you said what? You're heading towards where?
13, the officer's room.
Okay. As
Don
you
is trying to still be a bit stealthy, by the way.
Yeah, keeping your rolls continuing as you head into there. Who's leading down first, out of curiosity? Who's opening the door to go down the hallway?
I mean, I can, but I am very much not a tank.
I mean,
Same.
I think I might be the tankiest one here, sadly.
I mean,
what's your...
I can...
How much health do you have?
18.
Oh, I'm the tank. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, so you're higher level, you're gonna be better.
I have 20, but
you might just have better stats.
I
do have a good AC, but...
I have 20.
What's your AC?
AC is 19.
Okay.
Oh, I have a better AC than you do. Yeah, I'm the tank, even though I'm an archer.
So...
Listen, I got bad stats and I'm living with them.
Alright. So is it going to be Sen going first?
I guess I'm holding a great sword instead of my my bow. Yep.
As you put your bow away, grabbing your great sword, and to be clear, are you guys standing in a line behind Sen, or are you kind of standing off to the side? What's the formation going into this hallway?
I'm just standing off to the side.
Okay. I'm going to assume that's correct for the rest of the party?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. As Aldrin kind of disappears into the background for a moment, Ned and Dom kind of stand off to the side. Sen, as you look at this hefty wooden door, there's a single keyhole, a little 3-bar window that's only big enough just to barely see into with one eye given your size. As you look down, you see that the officer's door is open, clearly open, and you can see into the office slightly where there looks to be a desk, a chair kind of slightly pushed out, but you don't see any officer. You can give me a listen check to see if you hear anything down the hallway.
May as well. I feel like I already know what happened, but may as well. I'm trying to think I have a +4 to listen. Yeah. 15.
You hear the sudden shattering of glass, and you hear the someone in common go, "They think they're gonna take my fort. I've got the emergency lightning bolt wand ready for their asses."
Oh.
They're not getting my slippers today, those little bastards.
Can I hold on? From what I heard and looking at because we have a map, can I tell where the nearest window he'd probably jump out of would be from his room?
As you look at the map, you'd guess roughly 10 may have some sort of, but you have a window. But when you look at the outside of the inside of the courtyard, looking at the walls themselves, there were no windows. There was no glass in these barracks. This is a fully just solid stone building.
Broken in case of emergency break type thing.
Well, I have the highest stealth roll from last time. I'll go check. Why not?
Alright. What was your stealth? Let me see again. Alright, he's gonna roll his spot check.
I got a 25 hide.
I'm back. What do I need to roll?
Nothing so far. As Sen is opening up the door to sneak in, Sen kind of pulls the door slowly and quietly as you're kind of stood off to the side, Aldrin, alongside Ned and Dom. Sen kind of slips through the doorway, closing it quietly behind himself, and heads down the hallway. How far are you heading down, Sen, out of curiosity? And are you going to have the party follow you, or are you going to have them wait in the room?
I'll make clear I'm scouting ahead. I'm trying to locate the guy.
Okay. Alright. As you head to the first doorway, where at first look at kind of peering down the hall, you see the back of this individual, this large dragonkin with bright golden scales gleaming. His armor is shiny as if it's just been polished. The brilliant rivulets of gold kind of gleaming throughout it. The armor brand new almost in design, and very like dotted with a bunch of gems and jewels, as he seems to be heading basically down towards what you'd gather to be around 7 in the gathering room. He seems to have his back towards you and doesn't seem to even notice you, though he does seem to be talking to someone as you look around the corner and see him go, "And then you're gonna go around the room and you're gonna go and find them in that guard post. I know they're hiding in there, and I know they want my goddamn slippers. They're not having them, those damn fools."
The map that we physically have, is it also numbered like this map?
Yes.
I'll look back at the party and just hold up 7 fingers.
7 fingers.
I nod and hold up 8.
Okay, you didn't get it. All right.
I was
right.
Nods an understanding.
I'll try again with Ned. I'll point at the map that I have, and then I'll hold up 7 again.
Okay, give me a second.
Going to the mess hall?
I'll keep stealthing down towards the mess hall.
You god damn it. You're gonna follow him?
Don't know there will.
Yeah, I'm following
follow
the
at
guy.
distance.
Okay.
Stone Hunter's also gonna put his gas mask on preemptively, just in case.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I am kind of hungry.
Stealth it up.
I want to point out we're continuing stealth from last time, so if you guys rolled poorly, please don't follow me in the same direction.
No, yeah, I'm keeping a distance.
You can
I'm
go
gonna
another
be at the
way.
back, probably.
All right. As you lot kind of, I will ask who is going to follow directly after Sen, and who is just going to go around into the courtyard.
I mean, he said to
I
go
can
there,
go
so I'm
around.
following him.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Then just
go
come up
around
there.
the courtyard.
All right.
Because myself was bad.
Dom is turning and heading into the courtyard instead, while Ned heads down the hallway. Which way are you going, Aldrin?
I'll go with the Dom so that they're not alone.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Us bros.
As
us
you
besties.
do so, following down, Ned, you come down to the main chunk of the hallway where you're just right at the edge where right before hitting the where 10 and 13 have doors across from each other, or 10 and 11, sorry. About midway down the barracks where you can see Sen is kind of just holding himself there, waiting to see as this very well dressed and well armored individual seems to be kind of standing there, shouting at something. As Sen, you kind of poke your head around to look. You recognize the individual from earlier that the party had been talking to. The guy who screamed really loudly in common, stop, and almost alerting the entire city to the surprise attack. And as you kind of pull your head back in, the kind of thinking about this for a moment, it looks to be the same guy.
Can I roll sense motive to see if he's actually loyal to this guy for how he's acting?
Sure.
Alright.
Damn, I hate that dice.
I love it, dice.
That dice is evil. As you kind of take a moment, and focus in on the body language of the individual, it's hard to get an easy read on this individual due to the amount of heavy armor on, or the amount of thick chainmail on them. There doesn't seem to be a sense of any loyalty between the two, as the officer you get more off of seems to be annoyed, and the two seem to be arguing about something as you hear the two whisper, saying something, though the language is very gargled and too hard to interpret. Having not heard the language before, it doesn't seem to make any sense to you.
Alright then. If I don't know, then I'm gonna have to go by troll logic. He talked to enemy, not kill him, he also enemy.
Okay.
So, it's time to tie that vial to my arrow.
Oh, no. Alright.
I see the vial come out, and I start making my way back towards
Alright. As you make your way back, okay. Dom and Aldrin, excuse me. So I'm looking at something. Someone sent me a PM at the same time. As you two are heading around the courtyard itself, coming around the edge of it, you do see the large door that kind of opens into what you can kind of see from a crack in it, in the woodwork, would cut off the individual if you headed in there quickly enough. You can see the same hallway that Sen had looked like he was going down. Are you heading down there, or are you going to go straight to the mess hall instead?
Sorry, I think I cut out. Can you repeat the last part?
I said, well, where did I cut out it?
You mentioned us coming in through something about Sen going down a different hall.
No, okay. Yeah. So as you come out of the courtyard, you see that about halfway down the courtyard, through one of the doors that enters into the courtyard, the hall. If you went in it, you would be able to cut off where Sen would be, cutting into the same hallway that he was in earlier. Or you can continue further down.
Meeting up with Sen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you continue down or take the long road.
If I go into where Sen is, I could ruin his stealth. Is there a way to go below the mess hall, like through 20B, 20A up?
Yeah.
That's what Dom Nonder would want, because he wouldn't want to disrupt stealth, and I think he'd want to perform a pincer maneuver, so I don't think he's going to dive right into the mess hall, because he knows Sen has that poison arrow, and he knows it will fuck him up, but I think he does want to continue on towards it. So, like, get towards that bottom door, and then wait until he hears what sounds like an attack, like combat being started, basically.
Okay. Uldren, I assume you're following Dom's direction.
Lead, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think Don Under would quietly convey to Aldrin his plans for the pincer maneuver as well, so they're on the same page.
As you lot kind of continue further south, down towards 20A, we jump back over to Sen and Ned. Ned, as you head back up the corridor, you make it into the guard post back into 19, kind of closing the door behind you. Sen, you hear the light click in the distance of the door, signaling that's only leaving you only alone. But as you hear it at the same time, you do notice the well-armored individual seems to turn and look back. Not having seen you, seems to look about and go, "They found my fucking slippers, those little bastards. I will kill them. I swear to God, if he bet those slippers."
By this point, I'm assuming I've tied the arrow, so...
You just gonna take a shot at him?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to break the vial, so probably at the ground near his feet.
Okay. Alright, give me a attack.
You die for Lord Seji. Is that an 18? Yeah, it's an 18.
So with a 22 to hit, due to your gloves, as you go pulling the arrow back, you watch as the arrow goes flying, slamming into the ground right in front, kind of revealing yourself from stealth, from your hiding place, and you see as the officer seems to get excited and go, "I knew you were stealing my... Wait, you're not... Wait, what?" And as the vial breaks, he kind of looks down at it and goes, "Are you serious? You're invading the barracks and you throw a vial at me? What is that?"
Here's what happens is, "For Lord Seji."
Does Sen turn and run?
Yes.
Okay. Dom and Uldren, give me listen checks to see if you hear the sound of the glass cracking.
The glass, and they're like, "I knew you came for my... Wait a second, you're invading the barracks?"
Yep.
23.
Ooh.
There's a good
Oh, a 9. My rolls are so bad.
As both of you kind of, now halfway down the courtyard, Uldren kind of stops you, Dom, as Uldren hears the sound of the shouting inside and suddenly the sounds of cracking glass.
I'm also waving my arms at them from the other door.
As you come out, yeah.
I think Don Under is going to, like, when Aldrin stops him and he sees Ned, like, gesturing frantically towards him, is going to be in his mind, like, poison was broken, and will, I guess, go to meet Dom? Not Dom. I'm Dom. I go to meet myself.
Dom starts to find themselves internally as Uldren has to kind of snap them out of it.
I enter the thinking position. The, like,
Dom
Greek
looks
statue.
over at Uldren and sees Uldren. Dom, another Uldren. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
Oh. Hold on. Who are you calling Dom?
I see me and you. I see myself in you, Aldrin. I've decided to take you under my wing. This time, I shall be the mentor. No.
As
we'll
you start...
Ned, I
Yeah.
assume.
As you two kind of turn and rush over to Ned, Sen comes rushing out at top speeds, fully covered in sweat as the four of you kind of reunite outside of that guard post. I'm gonna roll his fort save, and this is not gonna be...
Yeah, I want him to deal with that alone as long as possible before we get involved.
Oh no.
To be fair,
Oh, he failed every DC. Oh no.
Oh no.
Like even my lowest DC was 13. Oh no. You hear screams of agony and screeching as what can only be described inside as the sound of someone tearing themselves apart. I don't know if you've ever heard another human being tear someone else apart. It's not a sound that ever leaves you, I imagine. As it sounds like someone is like ripping chunks of flesh off of something in the background, and as screams get louder and more horrendous, as if someone's being like they're shouting their death scream. It continues on for a few minutes as you hear more screams within that are higher pitched. And Sin, give me a Well, what did we roll? Or what did you roll earlier when I asked you about for how much information you had on the vial? Do you remember what your roll was for it? If not, I'll just have you re-roll. Go ahead.
Like 15 or something.
I think it was a 15.
Okay. As you kind of think back for a moment, you remember it took almost roughly an hour for the stuff to dissipate. Kind of concluding an hour and a half might be a safer bet. You look on. Mm-hmm.
Do I know how far it spreads usually?
Last time it was outside, and it spread over about half an acre.
I'm going to part of my run back. He mentioned slippers, but he's not wearing them. I want to go check his room looking for slippers, and then I'll leave.
As you dip in, give me a quick search check.
Actually good at search. 26.
26. You find a pair of very well-designed slippers that look to be made from the finest leather. Although you're not sure what kind of leather, what kind of creature they're made from. The inside is almost as soft as silk. They seem to slightly enlarge as you pick them up to the same size as your own feet, and have each of them seem to be both black with a spider kind of stitched into them.
Yeah, that and anything else that might be worth money, I'm just shoving into the bag as I quickly bag everything up.
You also find a sack that you just grab. As you would look through it eventually, you will find about 4,000 gold pieces in it.
Yes, for Lord Seji.
But as you take off, running to catch up with the party, I'll send you that real quick. The four of you re-meet together in the courtyard now, with the sound, with the poison itself starting to spread out and expand. What are you all doing?
Also, so I know it covered half an acre, and I know it destroys stones, so this barracks is fucked, right? As far as Sen's concerned.
No, it'd be a pretty safe bet, and you could probably clear it once it cleans out.
I just look at the other and say, mission complete.
Which direction is this spreading towards? I was wondering if there's any more buildings, like rooms we could loot before we go.
It looks, well, you can't tell. It looks, from all that you know, it'd be inside the building itself right now. Most all the doors are shut tight.
Okay, so we already looted did we loot the stables, or was there just not anything in the stables?
You didn't loot the stables. Ned let the horses go after they gave him the information he needed. And then they got splattered.
All of the best rooms to loot are near where the poison is.
I was gonna say, we're not gonna be able to hit those until the poison subsides, so
check the cart?
On our way to the gate, check the stables, and then just
you can
wait
check,
outside for
as you run over to the cart, or the stables where the two carts are, they seem to have chests kind of already set and locked and set in there.
Hell yeah.
Time to lockpick.
I'm opening them.
Yeah, I break them with a great sword.
Wait, what's up, Sid?
I'd like to just break the top with my greatsword.
Wait, it could have glass.
Alright, let me ask you something, Aldrin, as you see Sen kind of draw his greatsword and walking towards the chest, are you going to still try to lockpick these, or are you going to wait to see what Sen does?
So I like to think I already have, like, the lockpick tools out.
Uh-huh.
And as I begin making my way over there, I see him just undraw his sword. I just freeze and slowly watch him as he approaches. And then
open chest troll way.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
As Seji intended.
Oh boy.
Give me at least a decent roll. It's a 13 to hit.
13. As you slam into the chest, go ahead and roll me damage.
Okay. 16 damage.
You watch as the tops of the chest seemingly pop off. A few gemstones go flying with the clean cut. I will say the top of the lid of the chest doesn't actually pop off. Only a chunk of it that's cleanly cut away. It now seems to just kind of have a smaller opening on top of it, though it is still locked. You can reach in as the two tops of the two treasure chests seemingly set in the carts are lopped off. As you dig through, there looks to be about 12,000 gold pieces between the two, and roughly about another 2,000 gold pieces in gemstones that are too small to be used for arcane focuses, from what you can tell.
Okay, Dununder will look at Sen and go, do you want to help transport this with your pouch? And gestures towards the magical bag of holding.
Sen can do that.
Alright. As Sen starts to pocket it.
Were there any other items, like, around, like, armor, gear, potions, food, rations in the cart, or just the gold?
Just the gold and the stones. Okay. Yep.
Hey,
I fully
you know
imagine,
what?
by the way.
That's a good profit. I'm not going to complain in the slightest.
I opened the bag and put it down, and I threw the hole in the chest. I started pouring it into the bag.
Okay.
Yeah. Dununder will help you, like, pour it in.
Now, as you kind of go to wait at the the exit of the barracks, kind of standing outside the gate itself, watching it, kind of waiting as the music continues to come to a crescendo in the background. About a few minutes goes by as the top of the barracks you can hear starts to crumble, kind of crumbling in on itself. You watch as much of the building seems to almost fall apart and fall over. The smoke seemingly dissipating into the air as the poison dissipates quite quickly, surprisingly, as the tumbling in rock and cement seem to kind of cause it to push up further. Moments later, leaving the entirety of the barracks, though demolished and fallen in on itself, seemingly clear of poison. As you look about, around as soon as this seems to collapse, you also seem to you start to hear these loud sounds of explosions seemingly going off all around you and going towards the castle. Big explosions of black smoke seeming to be almost 2 streets over, expanding out all around in a ring. As you start to hear the fighting kind of pick up, and a second kind of army sounds like it seems to start attacking almost from nowhere.
We join fight or we loot?
Oh.
We lost Sen.
And he's gone. Sen
And now
said
he's
his
back.
piece and he left.
Yeah.
It turns out Sen was an illusion all along. He, like, fades into mist and vanishes.
We
gold.
loot or we join fight?
I think we should gather the heads of the officer and then help our compatriots.
Probably no head, but can check.
Well, yeah, does it look like the poison dissolved things, or just...
Poison dissolve everything.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then Dununder would not bother.
I am gonna go check
the area. There's a pile of goo, and I scoop it into... Actually, is there... Dununder will go to check, and he can go alone. He still has his gas mask. Is there any remnants of it, like little puffs in the air, or like a condensed liquid form of it? Because I know you mentioned that on the ground, because I would like to collect some for Zilpip to inspect later.
As you look about, give me a search check to see if you can.
Alright. Will do.
Send, give me a strength check as well as a fortitude save.
Send physically strong. 20 for strength. That's worrying me. I hope I roll decent fortitude. That's even higher. 26
I got
fortitude.
a 15.
Okay. 15.
Damn.
As Sen kind of goes climbing into the pile and digging at some of the rocks, moving them aside, Dom, you walk over and kind of look about. You do see some water that seems to have kind of pooled near the edges of the hallway that seems to have kind of turned to this red coloration. As you look at with your vial, with a vial in hand, you might be able to pick some up. However, as you watch as Sen kind of finishes pulling rocks aside, you see the very melted-looking corpse that he kind of turns over that was clearly once hard scales, now falling off and almost seemingly easily pulling off the bone of the or the creature that he kind of digs, seems to pull away and shove off to the side, giving you a realization that this poison probably melts your skin if coming into contact.
I was gonna say, well, I do wear gloves, but does it seem like the fluid in the water is perhaps diluted to where like a vial could contain it, or does Dumbledore look at the melted stone and gather this will probably...
The water's not smoking, and the dirt around it's not smoking. You could try and poke a stick with it.
And I was gonna say, he's going to take like the top part of the vial, like, you know how you can grab it in the middle, and you could put the top part in. He's going to do that. If it doesn't melt, he'll scoop it. If it does melt, he'll simply let the vial melt.
It does start to almost immediately melt.
Yep, he'll drop it. Can I instead then, since I won't be able to take it with me, I'll make whatever check you have to make. Try to identify what compounds might be in this. Like, look at its properties, look at how it reacted, and do whatever check needed to try to see if I can figure out, like, maybe what was in this.
Do you have knowledge poison making? Or alchemy? I'll take either.
I have poison making.
Then yeah, go ahead and give me a knowledge poison making.
All right, I'm gonna use my dice that are specifically poison colored for no reason. They're green and black, by the way.
Oh no.
My venom dice. Behold. Oh, okay. A nice modded 20.
All right. Give me a second.
I lick it. No. Could you imagine?
As you take a look, kind of digging through it, you kind of easily manage to identify a few of the things floating around it as you take a couple of like sticks and stones and start moving the liquid a little bit. It seems to almost naturally pull apart and melt the brick, but as you notice it, the material seems to easily become identifiable as you dig through. Give me a second. There's a long list of this I'm having to copy.
Oh, I believe it. There's at least 7 things in this for sure.
Give me a second. We're almost there. And then there we go. Those are the ingredients you are able to identify.
Heck yeah. This is good knowledge to have.
Though you're pretty sure that this is probably only half of the materials used in this mixture, and the concoction seems to still have a lot more to be understood as how these would be mixed together. It comes into a question. But as Sen kind of pulls out a small stick, putting it away in the kind of wiping away the bits of flesh and putting it away into his bag of holding. Aldrin and Ned, what are you two doing while you watch as Dom goes over to kind of play with some red water?
Yeah, I think Nate notes them down.
Were there the scales from the commander, we assume? Or whatever was in there?
You see as Sen seems to turn that body over after pulling a couple of bricks away and seems to kind of toss it to the side. Are you gonna go grab some, Ned? I assume.
I would like to grab some of the scales if
possible.
If they themselves are not toxic. If I need to, I will cast detect poison on them.
As you kind of do so, you find the only ones that seem to be protected from the scales are the ones underneath his helmet. As you kind of remove his helmet, the helmet looks to be fully intact and normal, although the rest of his armor is slightly melted and oozy. As you kind of look at it and poke it around with one of the pieces of wood that had fallen from the barracks. but the helmet seems to still be solid and not poisonous as you kind of pull it off, setting it to the side, plucking a couple scales off the head of the figure. Its eyes seem to suddenly pop open for a second. Ned looking straight at you as you pull the second scale out.
I just scream.
And Ned shrieks. The body slightly sits up and just stays sitting. As it does so, almost now basically as if it's staring at the backside of Sen, as Sen kind of looks through the rest of the rubble to see if any other materials had fallen off of this individual, or if he had broken any other glass, as it were.
I full on just T-ball swing my mastercraft staff.
Again to his head. Go ahead and roll to hit. I love this. 13. As Ned screams, and the body jumping up and stepping like a foot back or one step back. The body then sitting forward. I imagine Ned screaming even once more, and then going and swinging with the his signed quarterstaff. As the head goes flying off into the distance of the city. Eventually, a wet splat could be heard a few blocks down as someone screamed "Home Run" in the distance. But Ned, as you kind of or you open your eyes, the body seems to now just sit there headless.
I have the scales and the helmet. Hopefully, that's proof enough. I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Ned backs away up in the back. Ulchin, what are you doing?
So, I want to just, clarify. By now, the gas has dissipated by this point, right?
Yeah, other than the bits that have kind of fallen into the bits of rain puddles here and there, but you avoid those, obviously.
Yeah. I'll make my way back into the building to see what loot I can find.
All right, give me a search check. Well, give me also a strength check for as you're moving rocks, boulders around as well.
All right, so search up first. Wow. Okay. We got an 8.
Great work so far. Okay.
Yeah. Strength 15.
All right. I'm gonna do you assault. We're gonna roll for this instead of setting a DC for this because I feel bad. Now I no longer feel bad. As you start kind of walking around, looking through, you kind of pull some rocks here and there. Moving aside a few of them, you find about 2,000 gold pieces here and there scattered amongst a couple of destroyed chests. Otherwise, not really finding much else. Now, are you looking for anything of value or just specifically magical items?
Anything of value.
Okay. So as you dig about, you do find a total of, and we'll write this out for you. 35 in total spears, 20 full sets of plate, 35 short swords, and roughly 30 buckler swords. Most of these are in decent enough shape that you're pretty sure you can sell them at normal pricing, though they are a little banged up, and almost all this is made of bronze.
Okay. I just hope I'll be able to carry all of this.
I imagine you just kind of slowly, piece by piece, kind of gather it into the center courtyard as you find it, is most likely what you're doing.
I promise you now you cannot kill. The armor alone is, I think, almost 1,000 pounds.
It is. Same problem as Monday. As you kind of finish gathering it all together, you lot kind of finish up as Ned kind of stands in the center of the courtyard. Sen finishes digging about around the corpse, not finding anything else. Dom kind of still looking down, or looking about the red puddle, kind of thinking longingly about how to gather the liquid. Aldrin managing to pull the last few pieces of material or of metal and items kind of out of the rubble as he sets it down. Do you go for another once over for looking through rubble, or are you just gonna see if you take what you got here?
I will. bulking weight for Aldrin, and for him to see how little he can really carry.
I would like to also try again. I'm disappointed in myself.
For all those who are going to be looking through the rubble, give me a search and a strength check as you move rocks. And look around.
19 search.
Nice.
Strength's a 16.
16, okay.
20 search.
Okay.
20
Are we all rolling
strength.
No, anyone who wants to join in the search. Ned has decided not to go anywhere near the rest of it, just watching you lot do this. As the corpse is still sitting in the middle of the pile of rubble. The head's gone, but it's still there, taunting him.
Oh my gosh. My dice hate me. That's only an 8.
Oof.
I'm happy to have just been able to identify the ingredients. Dom Nutters went over his head like, what are the missing ingredients?
Oh.
How could I recreate this?
What made the melting effect? That's really the major question here. None of those poisons, I will say, have a melting effect.
Enjoy that weight, Caleb.
Alright, between the two of you, with your checks, you find another set of adamantine, as well as a potion. Oops. One potion that reads, Frost Giant's Kiss. Thankfully, between the two of you, you managed to find 2 other items that catch your attention. And then, just for Ned's own note, the helmet he picks up, that has written on the back of it, is a helmet of tremor sense. As you lot start kind of digging through the rest of as Aldrin and Sen kind of finish digging through the rest of the materials, pulling them back into the center of the courtyard. The now sounds of more of the fighting now seemingly picking up towards the castle as you hear screams and explosions kind of going off in that direction. God, man, I fucking can't roll tonight. Are you serious? Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, don't worry.
I think it's just in the air tonight.
It is. I haven't rolled anything above.
Been rolling so bad.
I haven't rolled anything above a. I'll explain post-session. But yeah, as you lot gather the rest of the materials, the sounds of the fighting still continuing. The night sky kind of, the eye of the storm having moved on at this point, in the darkness of the sky kind of re-picking up. The sounds of what sounds like more attacking towards the gate, seemingly also picking up that you guys are nearby. You have this giant pile of armor, gear, just kind of lying now around. What do you lot want to do?
Is most of this building stone, or is a lot of it wood?
Most of it was made of stone.
Okay.
The wood that the few wood that was remaining would have been the wood floors now covered by the stone. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Focus on getting the good unique gear and then fit whatever else of the stuff Aldrin found into like the bag of holding or people's inventories. Yeah. I don't know how much more Dawn Under can carry because I got a bad strength score, but I can attempt to pitch in where I can. Carry the potion or the wand or something light and reasonable.
I mean, pick what your party wants, because Sen's taking the cut. So, take your preferred picks.
Well, the Wand of Cure Wounds we're probably going to need in the future, realistically.
I will say Ned'll have to use it, because you have to roll, I think, use Magic Device if you can't naturally use the thing on it.
Yep.
So, you either have Ned use it, or you have to roll every time you use it. Just to...
That's fine. I just think we'll want
I have a -1 on that roll.
You don't have to roll it, because you can naturally get the spell.
Yeah, you can use the spell. That's the nice thing.
I think those two would have to roll. You wouldn't.
Yeah, we would. Which, use magic device, I think.
I will also mention,
know
the wand does not, from what you can tell, have any way of regaining its charges that you can tell as of current. So you only get 43 charges out of it.
What is...
Maya, for
Would I
feel,
know what
the
Frost
base DC...
Giant's Kiss is?
You can, yeah, give me a knowledge, history check, we'll go with.
For feel, I think it's a DC 20 for anyone that doesn't naturally use it to use a wand, like, at all. So,
yeah.
It's not a roll if you're not a caster.
Nope.
My dice hate me. That'll be a 3.
You're not sure what this potion is. You're just sure that the potion itself is a, it looks to glow, it has a like a vibrant blue glow to it. And it smells similar to a health potion.
Lucky.
This will let you kiss a frost giant. That's what the bottle says.
As you look at the kind of looking amongst it, what are you taking?
I can't use the shield or plate, so all that Dawn would be interested in getting for the party would be the potion to study, and then the wand, for obvious reasons.
Okay. So as you guys as Dom kind of leans forward, Dom grabs the wand of Cure Light Wounds, as well as the vial of Frost Giant's Kiss, Sen, as you see this.
I think
now, Dom, don't let us...
Oh.
What'd you say, Ned?
Dom, don't let us see you take that potion around Utham, or we might have some questions for you.
I would slay the man who would allude to such a vile act with my Reagan. I would learn swordship. To slay the man who would imply that. Anyway, Ned, this wand seems like it would be good for you to have, since I am not of the magic-y sort. Just don't use it recklessly, it is limited. Think of it like a tree with only so many apples,
it is.
And it can never regrow those apples. So you must pick the apples sparingly.
It as it reads on the side, the wand reads "cures the ouch," but only once.
Well, I've heard there's a lot of magic in these sticks, so maybe we'll try it.
It is of nature.
Looking them up and down, all three of them, none of them are more than light armor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sen takes the light armor.
I don't even have armor.
The adamantine? Okay.
They can't use it, and I can.
Yeah, go for it.
No worries. Alright. Are you gonna leave the heavy steel shield there?
If Sen doesn't take it, we could try to take it to sell, but I don't think anyone can
I'm only taking it if you're not. I'm packing up all the excess.
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Can anyone carry it?
Doesn't Kez use a shield?
Oh, I think Kez does, yeah.
Yes, but he needs a large shield.
He could learn to be very good at aiming it.
That was horrible.
The question is, how heavy is it? Can any of us carry it? Without becoming encumbered?
Give me a second. I gotta pull up my notes for how much shields are.
Because I can't remember how much I can carry without becoming encumbered. I know it's not a lot.
Heavy steel is 15 pounds.
Oh. How much
that is
it
for
before
medium.
you start taking reductions? Is it just at your full carrying capacity, or is it before that?
No, it's like medium, so it's like half.
Yeah, you have heavy, you have medium, and then you have light carry load.
So if you're over light, which is really low, because like for example, a 10 strength on a medium character, medium is 34 pounds of stuff. So it's not a lot you get to carry until you start getting like speed reductions and stuff.
I will say there are 2 perfectly good carts though, without horses that you lot could just pull with this stuff on it.
There are, yeah.
That's true. That might be the smarter play.
Can I roll better now?
No, unless we're going into battle.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm taking 450 pounds of the base plate armor, which I believe should be 9 sets.
Alright.
That'll fill up my bag of holding.
Alright.
Aw.
You taking how many sets of the bronze?
9 sets, because that'll fill up my bag of holding for the rest of the weight.
Okay. As you continue kind of digging through the loot, you lot kind of gathering up the materials. You see as a individual with kind of bright ginger hair, thick spectacles put on his face, a very thick kind of mustache, comes running in, very light leather that seems to almost kind of burst at the center as the chest, their chest is so large. A hefty bit of chest hair kind of sticking out, and their thighs that would make a great god pale in comparison for the amount of muscle on them as they come running in, a large bow on their back, and go, "Well, how do you do, gentlemen? And, are you a lady or a sir, Mr. Troll?"
I think I'm a man.
Mr. Troll.
Alright, that works. Name's Goose. I was wondering, I see you lot have a lot of gear there, you know. I haven't really gotten any hits. I got here late with the army. I decided to drink with some minotaurs, and tell you, they can drink, those boys. I'm pretty sure they gave me more drinks, though, than they did. But I don't remember much from last night. Anyways, I didn't find much, so y'all willing to share any loot you found, or any kills you got, or any directions towards the army?
Sense motive.
Sure.
Motive.
What are you trying to find out?
Did I see this? I was going to say, I was looking around last night overhearing plans and gathering information. Did I see this person drinking with the Minotaurs? Or is this someone from the city, or just someone... Like, does it look like this person has been fighting and working, or does it look like this person's trying to mooch?
I think Sen, because of a joke, met this guy. Because of the handshake.
Yeah, Sen has met him.
I know this guy.
For your own notes, Dom, you did not see him at the camp at all the previous night.
Oh, wait. Friend Goose.
Yes,
I got a 7, because I keep rolling really low.
When he asks which way the armies is, I just point to the obvious fighting noises in the distance.
He kind of nods and looks over at Sen and looks at him and goes, "Hey, you're that troll fella, that I met. You're with the Cryptic Cabal, right? I saw you hunting with them when they went hunting for goblins."
Well, was sent with them on a one-time mission.
Shame they didn't think to take those ears. Well,
nice. Oh, my loot.
I appreciate that. Listen, I appreciate your kindness. I'm not looking for magical loot. I'm just looking for some scratch to sell. You know how it is when you're an adventurer out here. Most of my expertise goes in hunting monsters. I'm not that good with these sieges, but not much work around here these days.
I got some spare sets of plate armor for my loot.
He kind of nods as he comes over looking at the pile. Dom, you, for sense motive, now, you said you were just curious if you'd seen him the night before. You did not, as I mentioned. So, to clarify, what are you trying to get from your sense motive with a 7?
Well, trying to identify if I've seen him, and then I didn't. And my sense motive was basically, does it look like this guy has been fighting, or is he waited until people have actually done shit and has come to mooch?
Oh,
and is,
to be fair,
like,
he did say
put in
he got
effort.
here late and could not find anyone to fight.
Yeah, he did actually outright admit that, yes.
Well, Dom, there's a possum in the backyard. Sorry, I looked out the window.
That's why Dom got distracted. That's why they rolled low.
As Dom looks at them, it doesn't look like they're here to mooch. But given what they said, you take into account they probably woke up late and seeing as the battlefield has moved towards the central castle, more than likely, it looks like the barracks is on the way to the central castle. It just means that they woke up late and missed the first beginning of the fight.
Okay. I think, I don't know if it's part of the same sense motive or a different role or what. Does this person seem like a strong, competent fighter? Like, he mentions he's a monster hunter. Does it seem like he's skilled, or does he seem kind of weak and puny?
He is large and very muscled. He looks to be like Goliath-sized, in overall.
Okay.
He carries a large bow that looks like to be a longbow on his back.
I think, Domnander, sensing a potential ally, will gesture to the cart that's being loaded and go, I don't know what weapons you have, but there are short swords and spears. I don't know if they're monster hunting quality, but they're the best in this building. Everything else has been destroyed. And gestures to the ruin they've brought.
He kind of nods and goes, oh, here, I can carry... if you don't want the rest of this plate, I can carry the rest of it myself so you don't have to deal with it. That'll set me up. I don't need any of the swords or weapons, but 11 sets of full plate, that'll set me quite nicely. I have a buyer already interested.
How much does plate usually go for as compared to weapons? Just
full plate would go for about 1,500 gold pieces when it's just its base form. Being it's heavy, it's made out of bronze. Bronze is more expensive in this world, so you'd know it probably. A safe estimation would probably be 1,800 to 2,000 for the full plate.
It's why I went straight for the plate rather than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, well, but I don't think Domnander would be fussed with the other gear to sell, only because it's more of a hassle to transport to sell than worth, in his opinion. If the rest of the party wants to vocalize being upset about that, they can go for it, but I think Domnander, as long as they get the rest of the other gear, and they got the magical gears.
Not counting the carts, I think what you guys are already carrying, you could collectively, between all three, you carry like 2 sets of plate armor. None of you are that physically cool.
No, Domnander doesn't have a use for it. It'd be hard to carry. If we came across more loot or got into a fight, it would prove a hassle. We got the 2,000 gold sign-on bonus. We've got the 12,000 gold and the 2,000 gold worth of gemstones. I don't think Domnander is that pressed about it, personally.
Okay. Fair enough.
So Ned and Aldrin can voice disdain, but I think Domnander is like, yeah, this is just better.
Ned, any issue?
I could always drag the wagon if we wanted to, but I don't really know where I'd drag it to.
Back to camp, I suppose, until we get somewhere we can sell it. I don't know how that we could sell things in this city, considering we're raiding it.
Goose kind of looks at you and goes, wait, you need someone to sell this for you. Tell you what. How about I buy this off you at 20% less than what it would cost on the market, and I'll transport and sell it myself. I got a big buyer back in Diamond's Death, but I'll be honest, I don't think he'd like you a lot. It's nothing personal. He doesn't deal with people outside of the monster hunting community, and you lot paying mercenaries and all. But I'll be willing to drop it to, let's say, 10% if you're still on the fence.
I have experience in hunting monsters. I've not done it much myself, but I was raised.
Young man, I'm sorry to tell you that I can guarantee I can smell it on you. Your musk gives it away that you couldn't handle your way out of a paper bag for the monsters that he's expecting you to hunt.
Sorry, I stepped away. Who wants to
I would like to hone my skills.
He's offered to buy all the gear at 10% less right now from all all of it in one go. And then sell it himself. Well, he said 20% originally, but he said 20 and then dropped it to 10 when you showed hesitation.
Oh, okay. How much does he say that will be for all the extra swords and stuff? Assuming no one takes any for personal.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, it was a.
No, I have the thing. Yeah, I have the total.
Yeah. Spear, short swords, and buckler shields. I forgot there was shields involved. I just couldn't remember what all it was. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second. It's gonna take a minute to calculate.
Let me see. So he needs spare loot to sell because he's rough on cash, but he has the cash to pay us now. I'm mad my sense motive was low because this is
fishy.
I also put in there it's fishy, but consider how much more money he needs because if he's a monster, I think how expensive monster hunting gear is.
I was gonna say it could be a cost of living and not that he's necessarily poor.
Also, if the drinking thing was true, that means he probably burns his money faster than he spends it. Which makes it even more suspicious.
Yeah,
but
that's
also...
too. His strength is definitely. Definitely a person I don't want to have angry, unless if it can be avoided.
I mean,
sometimes people just get angry at us, and they're just permanently angry at us, and that's just how it is.
It's only really likely he could one-shot you.
Yeah, it's almost like we're not made to fight this guy. I wonder what's giving that impression.
No,
now Monday and Sunday have met this character.
Now, let's wait. If Royce rolls another nat 1 and then 2 more nat 1s after that, which seems statistically high this session, he could one-shot himself, and then we can take his loot.
Yep. There's your prices.
What do we think, party? We wouldn't have any of the full plate. Or unless he's also buying the full plate from us.
He's buying everything.
Oh. Guys, I'm okay with this. Thoughts?
I mean, I can't use any of it, so...
I'm gonna be honest.
Same, and I feel like...
I don't have to roll to sell because I'm a one-shot character, so I get full price once I leave, so I have no reason to sell here.
Yeah, you have no reason, but we have to worry about where we can sell, if the vendors will accept us, if they'll give us good prices, because giants.
Oh, I feel this is important, because your party did this last time, but it wasn't pertinent. Most of the merchants are no longer in Greg City. A lot of them ran.
Party, the only thing the party knows is that the city seemed quiet when they were walking about last time they were in the city. But yeah, he offers you 39,000, or he offers you a flat 40,000 gold pieces for the entirety of the cart, minus the adamantine plate, of course. But he'd be taking all of Sen's 9 plate as well.
I think.
I guess Sen will do it because it'll also free up my bag of holding for the rest of the raid. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think Donander would look to Ned and Aldrin, and I don't know why I'm speaking out of character in character's voice, but look up. Unless my compatriots wish to hold on to some things for personal use, I'm happy with this deal. Friends?
I just shrugged.
Aldrin.
So, Aldrin?
I said all right.
I do still have the helmet in my hands, though.
You do still have the helmet in your hands. This is just the bronze base gear. All right, he hands you the 40,000 gold pieces, Dom, as he seems to pull out from a bag of holding on his hip that he seems to almost almost appear from nothing, as if a small illusion was around it to cover it, and hands you a sack that, without even counting the coin in it, is exactly 40,000 gold pieces, he states as he hands it to you and smiles and goes, "I'm happy to wait for you to count it. But if you don't mind, I'm just going to load this on the other wagon and then take the wagon with me."
Can Domnander just trust via the weight? Like, I don't know if it needs to be like what roll to check that it isn't fake coins, like illusioned coins?
Maya, sense motive the man.
Since I need to sense motive this money right now.
See if the money is real.
What would I roll to see if the money is real? Because Domnander would want to.
As you put your hand in, give me a will save.
A will save?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm getting above 2s again. You know what? That's great. A will save. Okay, that will be a 22.
22. You manage to sticking your hand into the coin, pulling the coins out. They're coins. You realize you've put your anxiety, your kind of worry that these would be fake coins kind of makes you almost subconsciously assume that there's an illusion there for a moment. But as you look into the bag, it's there. The coins are there, counted exactly as you start pulling them out.
Reaches in super seriously, like seems to have a moment where it seems like something might go wrong, pulls out like 2 coins between his fingers, checks them. I think gives them the old-fashioned, like that he might have seen older people in like Utham's kingdom like bite it. And it's like, yeah. I forget what the name for the gold currency is in canon, but isn't it something crowns?
Don't worry, they're diamond crown. I don't make you guys actually use that because of the fact.
Diamond crowns. Yeah. So
Maya, the only time it will make you differentiate is if you're in the troll lands.
Because they use a different one.
Domnander takes a good check, tests the weight, looks at the others, and is like, they're genuine diamond hills. And is happy with the deal. He's not really a business type person, but you know what? There's a new time for
of the suspense when Dom's hand is in the bag, Ned would definitely grab his arm and be like,
grabbing my arm, like vibrating with excitement. I get bits of moss on me, and I on my clothes, and I have to flick it off.
As you look through the coins, he finishes pulling over the cart and seems to kind of wave at you as he pulls the cart out. Muscles starting to grow larger. He seems to kind of pat himself down, grow a single size larger, becoming large himself, and starts just pushing as the cart starts to move. And he heads towards what looks to be the castle gates, back outside the city walls. Leaving you lot kind of standing here, you see the army kind of picking up the fight. A large battle continues inside the castle itself, inside the city. But your job was done. Your job was only to take on the barracks. What do you lot want to
do? Well, Sen, I think we might be departing soon. Did you want to get your cut of things and head off? Or did you want to escort us back?
Yeah. Taking Sen's cut and running off sound good to Sen.
Friend here, but I am not sure I'm keen on needless battle unless we feel up to it.
As Dom says that, a loud explosion as one of the castle towers comes crumbling down, screams heard.
Plus, they do seem to have it handled. Looks pointedly at the tower as it's falling.
Crumbling down, yeah. In the distance, you can't help but wonder, is that Is that a bright turtle with a treasure chest and somebody riding on the two with a weird ball floating behind them? No, that can't be. That's strange.
The ball flying through the air screaming.
Exactly.
I've seen that turtle. That turtle travels with the beholder.
A small ball, you realizing that as they go dipping above the clouds in the distance and disappearing. All right. The rest you lot kind of start heading into camp, back towards the main army. As you lot head out, Uldren, are you staying with the party, or do you kind of slip into the background and start going about looking through the city?
I'm gonna start slipping into the background and look through the city.
Okay. Give me a search check. Go ahead.
Let us know if you're splitting off so we can help you, but up to you, man.
As Uldren goes searching through the city and looking about, Dom and Ned, as you head towards camp, kind of setting or meeting up with the rest or the few mercenaries that have kind of come back, many of them injured, meeting in the large tent where Kez has already set himself aside an area to work on people, having a large pile of around 10,000 gold pieces kind of set aside in a treasure chest that people just keep coming and tossing coins to as he starts working on them, casting spells, kind of grabbing power naps in between as he can. Uldren, we jump to you. As you disappear into the background, what did you get for your search? As you vanish into the background, kind of watching as Dom and Ned head forward, you dip into one of the side roads and find yourself in one of the darker streets. As you start walking down the main road, looking kind of in the houses one after another, you see as a frost giant comes kind of walking over to you, and as he kind of shows his appearance for a moment, the frost giant seems to shrink down and stands in front of you, this small looking skinny dwarf with very thick white beard and very short but very thick white hair, darkened skin, and blackened eyes, and he goes, "And you must be Uldren. James sent a request for me to pick you up."
Oh. Who is James?
Oh, you contacted Rolliman, correct?
I did.
I've been sent to make sure you are picked up before Jakix and his colleague gets a hold of you. Turns out, James kind of screwed up, and Rolliman kind of Rollman gave a message to someone else to pass on and explain the situation. Are you familiar with an Essa? As he kind of turns and starts guiding you down one of the dark alleys.
Yeah, I'll follow him very much.
Perfect. So she said something about James being an idiot. So I figured I'd pass this on. Something about he screwed up already and that they're going to need some help, and that I've been sent ahead to get a hold of you because they need someone to start learning about what's going on. So apparently you've been hired. My name's Zells. Thickums is somewhere around here with the carriage. I'm gonna take you and bring you to, hopefully, the ship. We're heading to Kuror Castle.
Oh.
Do you have any last notes you need to leave with your compatriots? Any compadres you wanted to talk to? I don't really care, but I was told I am being paid to be kind to you.
Yes, I do want to say bye to my party mates before I go.
Oh, well, it's not easy to get out of here, but, why not? It's not like we're in the middle of a fucking war zone, as he turns and starts walking through a servant's exit out of the city walls, guiding you into a carriage that has a large seal-like individual driving it, and because I would be remiss if I didn't get to share this amazing character concept that another DM sent me, that they wanted, that this is their character in another campaign. This is what you see as a beast folk of a large seal with these tattoos all up and down him sits at the top of this carriage, kind of with the wheel or with the bridle in hand.
That is adorable.
As you get on, kind of turning the cart, you head back towards the rest of the mercenary group and their camp. Takes about half an hour of kind of riding around, dodging the occasional bolts that are still flying from the city walls for the areas that still are holding out. As the mercenaries are still trying to crack the walls themselves, daylight starting to pick up in the background as you reach the group. Ned and Dom already sitting in their tent. Sen long gone at this point, off to go deal with his own individual tasks. You come pulling up as the carriage stops with the mud kind of splattering against the wheels. Zels kind of opens the door and goes, "Excuse me, are you Dom and Domnander and Ned?"
Correct.
As long as you're not a tax collector.
I could be. Do you have money to give?
I do not.
Ah, well then I guess I'm not.
Money to give to the Grove? He's big on that.
I don't have any money for charity.
I hold the bucket when Dom says that.
He looks at your bucket and goes, "I don't give to bums. But I do have something here for you." As he kind of like leans back and lets Uldren kind of step out.
So it seems today is our last day together.
Why is that?
I have been recently hired by this individual and Rolleman's company, allegedly with this James for some task. So.
Is this a departure for a mission, or is this a permanent leave?
For the foreseeable future, it seems to be a permanent solution.
Well, I hope you find your bucket, friend.
Will you still be serving Reganutham in your absence, or is this a departure from that as well?
All my actions are indeed for my father.
Wait, what did he say?
He said all of his actions are for his father.
Interesting choice of words.
The fanboy war begins.
No.
Fanboy all over you, boy.
I'm trying to find a term. I need to... Hang on, give me 1 second. Ned, you can do RP real quick in the meantime.
I'll pull out my coin purse.
Well, I think you already know what I was about to ask, and I'll hold the bucket up.
I give you 5 platinum.
Ned's eyes just light up.
They make a great jingle as they land into the bucket. For the first time, Ned gets to see some platinum pieces in his little bucket.
I will miss your sticky fingers, my friend.
Yeah, it was fun. Hopefully one day we can reunite and get into some a little more mayhem.
Well, I'm sure your services will never be turned down should you come again in the future.
Yeah.
I imagine through one way or another we'll be in touch. It's not like I plan to take leave of service for my Reagan anytime soon. If the same goes for you, we will cross paths, I'm sure.
Indeed. So for the party, as a little bon voyage parting gift, I will hand them a coin purse, and it's going to be 45 platinum pieces.
Whoa.
And 4,000 silver pieces.
As he kind of sets that down, and Zels kind of looks out and goes, You know we're not paying you for the first week, right?
I do.
Okay.
I have enough coin
How
to get
many
me
silver
through the
pieces?
week.
4,000.
Oh. Oh, dang, that's more than I thought it was. Dom takes it, kind of inspects it, looks at him, and is like, "Are you wanting your cut of this mission, or are you set?"
I'll make sure to pick up my cup before we depart.
Good. We It was rough for us too, I think, but I do respect you, Aldrin, if it's not been said. Your cunning should serve you well in life, and I think you will do well in your mission, I hope. Though, I will admit it is a little bittersweet, us just getting along now. And he kind of like chuckles and offers like a hand, like a just an amicable like hand to shake.
I will take your hand and shake it. It is very bittersweet.
I hope the skies are clear for you to fly, Rathen. And he gives you a bit of a knowing smirk as the handshake kind of splits off.
I'll chuckle at that and begin to leave.
As you get back in the carriage, Zell's kind of leans out and goes, "Oh, and to any of y'all that are looking for work, Ironheart Merchant Company." He kind of like slides his card down to your table and goes, "We're always hiring, and my name is Zells. I'm the owner, co-owner, but the details don't matter. I want you all to know I'm always happy to bring you on. And if you're looking for a quick way to make some cash, I have a friend of mine that needs taken out. But feel free to talk to me and for now." As he kind of like shuts the door and snaps his fingers as Thickum starts like hitting the brittle, going forward and running off. You watch as the carriage goes flying at top speeds out to the south of the city and seems to disappear into the forest.
Okay.
Leaving just Ned and Dom to sit in the tent together.
You know, I was expecting to change who I traveled with. I wasn't expecting this, though. I was fully expecting people to die. This is a good thing, then, yeah? And
I mean, you could say that. I mean, I don't know.
Do you have any secret people hiring you, Ned? You are required to tell me.
I only work for my grove.
Will the grove at any time need you to return to it?
I don't think so. I'm kind of surprised they haven't contacted me yet, as the leader and whatnot.
Tom gives Ned a look that's just like, not sympathetic, but a little bit of oh boy, I'm not unboxing that right now. And puts a hand on your shoulder and is like, I'm sure they have full faith you are doing well in your quest to gain donations for the Grove. They must have much faith in their leader. And gives your shoulder a few pats and then removes his glove before it, gets too much moss on it.
As you two kind of sit down and start to kind of contemplate what you're gonna do to get a new member, especially as Kez started to look like he was growing almost comfortable working as a medic amongst the mercenaries. A thought comes to mind on potentially new members and new leaders being needed as you start to think about watching as the castle continues to explode and the battle raging on in the background as you two sit inside your tent enjoying the few rations that you have.
Ned would go on in detail about the different Grove members that he thinks might do well with the party.
As you two start kind of considering what you might be looking for to replace Uldren, that's where we'll end today's session. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Though with Sunday, we don't know when next time will be, so we hope you'll stick with us. Thank you. Good night.